Looks good. Looks good to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look great. Actually, you got the best display out of all of us with the little skull there and the speaker. Oh, I love it.
And he's a audio guy because he's got you know
Studio
the
monitors. Yeah.
speakers, studio monitors there. Yeah.
Oh, is that what those are?
Mm.
So both
You know
people.
what I found about being in the music business? I spent 15 years in the music business. I can tell you that audio engineering is an art. It is not a science. And
Yeah.
there are some kids with little to no training that just twist around the knobs that are great. And there are other guys that have been doing it for 20 or 30 years and they know all the technical stuff, but they suck.
Totally.
It's a
Wow,
black
cool.
art, man. Yeah.
Where the hell did my stylus go? That's annoying. Just had it in my hand.
I got to choose a good background here.
So it's really interesting the way hey Eric, would I be burning up my character again with you guys or keep the same everything that we did and I'll just
You can
follow
keep them
along? Yeah.
if you want. I mean, unless you just want to do it again.
I'm not sure. I think I'm good.
Well, you know what though? There's the part of character creation where you choose different specialties and you choose different things,
Yeah.
additional skills.
Yeah.
And if you did it again, it would help the group kind of like optimize.
Sure.
If you did it, I mean, because you can basically do him the same, everything the same except for a couple little tweaks, as we get through the
Yeah.
stuff with the other guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to do it again, yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go refill my coffee and then I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go get my copy of the books.
Yeah, me too. I thought they were right here next to me.
Wow, that's a nutty background, Chuck. I love it. I gotta pull up
the image, Pete?
PDFs because
Do you recognize the image, Pete?
yeah, that background looks amazing.
Yeah, it's from the tomb. It's an image from the Tomb of Horrors, but color reversed.
So amazing.
Okay, so everybody wants to open up to is everybody here? No, it's Sanjay.
We're missing Sanj now.
Okay, we'll catch him up. All right, so everybody open up to gather around.
Okay, are we
Which
going
is
to work
on.
through this? We're going to work through this from the books and not from your encyclopedia. Is that right?
Well, I've got the encyclopedia open, but it's the same stuff. So you can just go whatever, if you got your books at home,
Gotcha.
the online version, whatever it is, just the gather around chapter.
Gather around.
Because I've got it, I got it printed out so in like full big format, so I just can
Sounds good.
look at it. So it's like the old school book. It's
And
big
over
type
in
'cause I'm old.
Roll20, do you create? Oh, looks like you created a character for me called Noggin as a starting point.
Oh, nope.
No.
That's the character I made when I was working with Sanj.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
Noggin is
cool
just an
dwarf.
extra dwarf hanging around.
Oh, okay. It looks like I have a button that says plus character, so I can create my own darn character.
We can
Yep.
change his name to like make him like a villain dwarf character, an NPC villain.
Or maybe just somebody's rival.
A
Could be
rival.
Noggin.
Yeah. Lord Obney.
So
I got a way to create a character as well.
So the default kind of baked in setting for Torchbearer is the Mittermark, which is like a based kind of a thing. So you can think of names as this, in terms of that kind of thing, or we could just say we just want to do like a general fantasy kind of thing. That's up to you guys. I'm cool either way.
Let's see what kind of characters we create, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm also happy to do Mittermark. Mittermark feels like it's it is challenging because of the winters and the weather. Is that right?
I think just as much as any other, because winter and respite is it's going to happen regardless. So it basically
Okay.
means like you have a full year of adventuring in whatever weather it's going to be, like good to bad, and then there's winter where you can't do anything. So
Got it. I had thought
it's
that
not it's not
the
setting
weather
dependent
was the
really.
weather isn't worse during in the in Mittermark than it is in standard.
I prefer
Right, yeah, like not overall.
I think maybe we just build the setting as we go, you know?
Sure. Yeah, that
Yeah.
works for me. Yeah.
Like, I think that'll be fun because then if we have to describe the dwarf hold where my elf was from, I could do that.
That's
Yeah.
great. I love that. Good thinking.
Yeah.
And I've got some kind of cool,
Yeah.
like weird fantasy
Yeah.
sort of stuff ideas
Yeah.
for like for you guys for you guys to go and explore and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll just kind of
I
go.
want that.
We'll go.
I want
Yeah, we'll
that.
go nuts. Yeah.
Loving it.
Cool. All right. So has everybody got their book open? Everybody has um a character sheet open.
Yep.
I'll start a character sheet.
I don't have a character sheet open yet.
Okay.
I see one character there, Noggin.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
that's-
And I
above it, you
tried
should see.
clicking on the plus character button, but it doesn't work.
Oh,
Um,
Hmm. Does it work for anybody else?
it worked for me.
Yeah, I started a character.
let me see if it works for me. Oh, these weird names are coming up just automatically. I was like, who's these are crazy names. You guys came with insane names already. Like
I just came
um,
up with Rolf, like just before we got on.
Yeah, it gives you
Yeah,
a
that's
weirdo
cool.
name to start, and then you type in your own name if you want.
Oh,
We
what?
have to be a human, right? For the most part. Like if I'm gonna be a wizard, I can't be an elf wizard. I have to be
That's
a
right.
human.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, this is a little weird. Trying to get rid of this person, delete that. Okay. Pete, any luck getting a sheet open?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah. I have
try
the.
again.
Oh, you're talking about the other piece.
Nope.
Yeah.
Repeat. You can just call me Repeat. Nope.
It's possible.
No,
So
and I don't have any of my ad blocking software enabled, so it's not that.
are you running Roll20 in Chrome or something else?
In Chrome, yeah.
In Chrome, that's good. Well, so you might try Eric creating a character and then assigning it to
Yeah,
Pete
exactly.
Sotos. I've done that
Okay.
before.
I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. Player journals, that's all fine. And then assign. How do I do that?
I think you can at least when I've done other games, that was the only way to create characters. You say who can see the character and who can edit the character. And if you make
Oh, here we go.
so there you go.
Okay, so I've shown Glee's goof.
Yeah.
And
That's
Pete,
great name.
repeat. You want to try to get in there and see if you can actually edit
I
it?
can't edit it yet.
Okay, let me save that. It keeps opening. Okay.
And what's weird is I don't even see it in the character list. So it's not owned by me yet.
Okay. Let's see.
Fucking technology.
Oh, here we go. All right, can be edited and controlled by. Here we go.
There you go.
All right. Ding. Oops, nope, don't do that.
And one option is to make it editable and controllable by everybody, because that way everybody can see one of those characters. But I don't know.
Yeah, because I can look at everyone's shit.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess if everyone goes into edit and says, wait, show.
I think only you can make our characters editable by other people,
Okay.
or controllable by other people. Because I just checked and I couldn't do that.
But can you guys see each other's character sheets?
I cannot see each other's character sheets. I can
I
only
can
see my
see
own.
I can see Glee's like just like a white box with his name, and Roll20 is trying to open it right now.
So in your character sheet, in the upper right hand side where it says edit and there's the magnifying glass and stuff, I
Yeah.
see
Mhm.
show to players. Do you guys have a show to players button?
No, we don't.
No,
Because
that's
we're the players. But we don't,
Huh.
show to players is not actually, show to players will just throw it up on the screen for us. What you're looking for is to make it viewable and editable and controllable by all players.
Right.
yeah. I
Uh,
can't edit Noggin.
It should be in the character. There should be a section off to the right, and it says who can view it and who can edit it. And
right,
it's a
but
drop
it's
down.
it's not there. Actually, here, let me share my screen, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, here we go. I got it. All right. So I'm doing Sister Cadogan. Let's just say I say all players.
All players.
So that should mean that everyone can at least see it. I don't think we're going to be editing each other's things, but
No, we're not going to, but in order for us to see it, we have to be able to edit it. It's kind of dumb.
I can only see
Okay.
Noggin and myself right now.
Yeah, I can only see Noggin.
I think he
Yeah.
just did the change to say Sister Cadogan. I'm not sure if he's Sister Cadogan or Sister Cadogan. Can you see her now?
Who's Sister Cadogan?
That's my character.
Nice.
okay. And then I just did
Love the name.
new Pete's one to be able to be edited by everyone. Just want to keep checking these out as I'm doing it, see if it works.
Heck, man.
Okay, I just did Pete Sotos. I just did your sheet. And then I'll
Weird,
do
I still
Ellen
can't
Dill.
see it. I'll refresh my Roll20. Let me relog in. Sometimes it.
Indeed.
Okay.
Nope.
And also it's not a huge priority right now.
Yeah.
Until we kind of get playing. So
Mhm.
okay. So classes. We're talking Chuck, you've got the Thurge.
Yep.
Peter, you've got the magician.
Wizard. Hey, just so you
Um,
know, I can't see that character.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here, hold on. You should be able to. Peter S.
Can you might close out Roll20 and then reopen and see if it doesn't show up?
I did. I refreshed
did
the
that.
browser. Do it again.
Let me just,
Oh.
I'm just gonna get rid of it. See if I
All
can.
this, man.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay, I just deleted it. Gonna make a new one. Character. Liscalibro. And we're doing Peter S here. Save changes.
Last night I was like daydreaming like how to make like a role-playing app that you could kind of go for a walk and just be like rolling dice and on an app, and everybody sees the numbers, and you can edit your tests on your app. Like,
I'm gonna real quickly just share my screen. I still don't see it. Where is it? Remote desktop. Why can't I actually see Google Chrome? There we go.
Whoop.
I still only see Noggin and myself.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah, we got to move on from figuring
Yeah.
out if we can see each other.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure that out later. The biggest problem was that Peter
It needs a
cannot.
character.
Yeah. Okay, I made a new one, and it says can be edited and controlled by all players, but it's not. It's not.
Save it, close it, open it up again, and see if it saved the settings.
I just did that and it helped something I was doing.
So what, Peter?
Yeah. Which one?
On the menu of characters, what do you have there? Just Noggin and somebody else?
I think both Peters can only see Noggin.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Maybe, Eric, refresh your browser.
Okay, doing it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm so sorry. It's like these games are so annoying. They're great, and then sometimes the tech just slows everything down.
Yeah, you know, I was having terrible problems with with Roll20 and Safari, and that's why I was asking Pete whether he was using Chrome. I've never
I
had.
can tooled eCrow grip.
Ah, okay, cool, great. Yep, I see it. Gonna get rid of that one that I made. Gonna move you into the characters section. Cool. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love Skooky. It sounds Finnish.
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
call him
that'll work.
Skooky. Take the last one out. Skooky sounds
Um,
good.
okay, so
So yeah.
um, so everyone's got their class that they wanna play. You can start filling in the stuff from the block, the stat block on the first couple of pages of this chapter.
Let's do it step by step like you did with me,
That would be
Eric.
great, Eric. Yeah,
You
if you
know,
can do things step by step.
remember how we
Okay. Yeah,
the way the book is laid out, it's really like user friendly.
yeah.
So
Okay.
everybody, what page does it all start at? Page
Looks like we're on page 28. Choose your class.
mhm, of
And then
Yeah.
the Dungeoneer's Handbook, right?
of the
Yep.
Dungeoneer's Handbook.
Yeah. So
So
the blue book, yeah.
so Chuck and Peter, your stock is going to be human.
Yep.
Sanj elf, and then Pete. Should we create nicknames? Do we really want to do repeat for original Pete?
Yeah, we should figure something out.
Yeah,
Is Peter and Pete enough of a distinction?
No.
No, because you guys are used to calling Peter Pete already, I can tell. So
Yeah. I think one of you
Hang
should
on,
be.
I'll change my display. You know what? How about my old army
You can-
nickname? Hank.
Fang?
Hank. Hank.
Hank.
Oh,
Oh, that's
that's
great.
funny.
Yeah.
Sounds
Hank.
great.
Okay.
I mean,
I
I
can
was ready
also-
to do Fang, but it's
Fang does sound cool.
I can also
Right.
go by last name if necessary.
So folks, choose your class. Choose whether you will play a burglar, magician, outcast, ranger, thurge, or warrior. Your character's stock is dependent on your class and can't be separated. Class are displayed on the previous spread.
Yep.
Burglar. Halflings simply aren't adventurers. It's just not done. I mean, how can one eat second breakfast during an adventure? However, should the unthinkable happen, halfling adventurers make excellent burglars. They're often underestimated by their companions, but they possess deep wells of patience and endurance. So that's
Is that
Peter.
what that's that's what Peter's doing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or Pete, not Hank.
Not
Um,
Hank.
and magician. Magicians have tapped into special part of themselves called the memory palace. I heard about this. This part of their mind allows them to capture and store magical spells and release them upon command. This art is called arcanism, and it is a dangerous road to travel. That's Hank, right?
That's Hank. That's Hank.
Hanky. Ranger. The elves spend ages wandering the dreamlands, pondering the greater mysteries of life. Rangers are those few elves who awake from their slumber and find themselves unable to return to sleep. Forced to wander wakeful, rangers manifest the spell songs of their people, growing more and more powerful until they either create their own elf home or forsake their dream forever. Whoa, I had no idea. That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of trippy.
Thurges are possessed by a shard of immortal power. This possession allows them to invoke powers beyond the capabilities of other mortals, but such powers carries with it terrible consequences.
Yep.
Cool. So that's good. Good mix.
That's
Right.
Sister Cadigan.
So now, abilities. So up in the upper right-hand corner of your character sheet are the abilities. These are your raw attributes. So anytime you don't have a skill, it's going to default to will or health. There isn't, strength, quickness, whatever else. It's just two things. It's one or the other. And it's going to tell you what you can set. So so Pete, your will is going to be 5 and your health is going to be 3.
Mhm.
And then the 2 humans, you get to distribute 8 points between will and health. And then Sanj, you're 4 and 4 split between.
Right.
8 points, did you say, between will and health?
Yep.
And do you have any advice for me as a theurge as to whether I want to favor will or health, or?
Well, they're both really important. I think maybe for a third, like an even split might be good,
Is
like,
this
or at least like really close to an even split, because they're
Are there going to
very
be
physical too.
are there going to be times when we're going to divide the number by 2 and round down? In which case, I'd want to choose even numbers.
Oh yeah, that's a good thought.
So there are
Yeah,
times when we
yeah, because
divide by
beginner's
2 and
luck is, yep.
you divide by 2 and round down, not up.
I think it's down. Yeah, I think it's down. Yeah,
All right.
I can double check that though.
I'm tempted to go with 5 will, 3 health.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, for the magician, that's good.
Kind of like in character with a bit, you know.
Well, yeah, I was thinking will made more sense for the theurge as well, but I just wasn't sure how the numbers worked out. All right, well, I'll just go ahead and put 4 and 4 for the moment. Then I can change it in later today if once I learn more.
Yeah, I mean, and the skills break down to you can see, look, you can see on the skills section, there's a section that says BL next to a skill, and that's the beginner's luck. That's what ability that it
Oh,
boils down
gotcha.
to. So you can see like what's what.
Got it.
And actually, it's funny because it looks like,
A
oh
lot
no,
is
they're about an even split. But yeah, but a lot of them are will.
Got
right.
it.
But
To be a strong of will.
yeah. So then, everybody got that. So now you can just start noting down your skills.
Okay.
So
So-
these are just the basic default skills that your class starts with, and they're going to get added to afterward.
And this is
During-
all on page. The skills are listed for us by class in the where we were just
Yep.
were.
But it says, if you're playing a human stock character, choose one of the following skills and give it a rating of 3. Or if
That's
you
right.
already possess a skill, increase its rating. Oh, that's later, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get
So-
to that.
So right now our skills are coming from
Your class.
but where do we and this is listed under the Torchbearer classes on page 26 to 27. What our
Yep.
starting classes, what our starting skills are.
Oh, okay, cool.
So all of this information that we were just going over is on page 26 to 27.
Yep,
Awesome.
we're just working through your little class like stat block here.
Which book is that? Is
This is
that
on
Dungeon?
in the blue book.
The blue book. It's called the Dungeoneer's Handbook on page 26.
Perfect.
So I can walk through. Yeah. So actually, Pete, my Pete, abilities
to hang.
where a halfling is will 5, health 3. That
Yeah.
it's suggested, right?
No, that's
What it
required.
is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like you have to take that.
Mm-hmm.
And then-
I have that noted.
And then you have cook 3, criminal 3, fighter 3, hunter 2, scout 2, scavenger 2.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate the way they did the blue in this. It makes it so hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Especially
have
since the abilities is in blue for the theurge, but it's in white for the 2 characters above and below.
All right, I have my skills down in the sheet.
The order 3.
I like the look of this Roll20 sheet.
Yeah, it's
It's good.
It's way better than the Burning Wheel one.
The Burning
Healer
Wheel one
2,
is a mess
Theologian
to
2.
read.
Armor, leather, helmet, and shield.
All right, I've got my skills in.
So where it says the starting weapon, starting armor, you don't have to note that down yet. The options will come later. This just tells you like what your options are.
Okay.
So as we kind of create the characters, we'll come back to the equipment and weapons and stuff after
Great.
you kind of like determine some more things.
Cool.
And everyone's got their level 1 benefit is basically like, it just kind of tells you what kind of stuff that they're able to do, what kind of weapons they can wield, etc. And sometimes there's a different abilities like special stuff, but generally usually not. Has everybody got their skills down?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, cool. So the humans, you human guys,
Mhm.
you're going to choose one of the following and give it a rating of 3, or if you already possess the skill, increase its rating by 1 to a maximum of 4. So you've got criminal, pathfinder, laborer, peasant, haggler, or survivalist. So there's going to be points in the character creation process where you have the option to take new skills. And this is how you overcome gaps in the skill base of the whole party.
Mhm.
So there are many different ways to optimize, your skills. So your party spread is tighter, because it's better in this game to have more things in common than things that just one person can do really well. Because the more people you have helping, the better you're going to do. One
And then-
person might be great at something, of course, but like the more other people can cross over, the better.
And if I recall, the advantage of laborer and peasant is that they can be used as helper skills in a lot of situations.
A lot of different skills will have those as the helper. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good thing. So your human upbringing, this kind of tells us what how you grew up too. So if you guys want to choose one of those,
All right.
Chuck and Hank,
Okay.
nice.
Yep.
So I'm thinking about doing a laborer, and I'm imagining that Sister Cadigan grew up in a big city, the daughter of a longshoreman, and used to work in the warehouses, unloading boats.
Nice.
Cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, see, that's a little bit of character creation right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've kind of sort of like realized that a lot of these little points, like where your hometown, this human upbringing thing, these are ways that they kind of melt the life paths like into this game
Yes, I agree.
in ways that aren't just choosing the life paths. You're weaving little bits like why you got these skills in. So Hank, what do you think?
Oh, as far as I'm thinking, Wizards
Criminal.
is looking good to me.
No,
What's
but
that?
out of the human upbringing, choose one of these: criminal, pathfinder, laborer, peasant, haggler, and
I
survivalist.
chose Pathfinder.
Sick.
Okay.
I have
Yep.
Pathfinder 3, so you'll be able to help me.
Oh, so that's what you said, Wizard Scout. I understand now. I didn't
No,
understand
I
it at
said
all.
Wizard's Tower because I jumped ahead of already
Okay.
on the step. I
Yeah,
just
so
let
Pathfinder is a skill that is for like overland travel. It's for finding the way like through wilderness and through, it's for traveling. So by you taking that, that's gonna like signal to me that, to give you guys those kind of, challenges, at least, in part of adventures. Not having it, and taking something else that's more useful, it's not gonna create a hole. I guess what I'm saying is I usually don't include tons of Pathfinder stuff. But if that's something that you're interested in doing, I want to make it useful. So, if you want to, you can signal to me that that's what is something that you find interesting.
I could
Enough.
do Haggler instead.
Haggler is used in town to negotiate prices and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, I'll do Haggler instead. I think that Haggler is going to come up more often.
Okay, cool. So,
What's the backdrop to that? Where did you learn haggling?
Probably,
wizard.
well, I have to be well educated being a wizard. So running around town, going to the stalls, you're always haggling. At least, especially
answer.
if you go to like the Middle East, it's all about haggling. They
Yeah.
start out with ridiculous prices and then you got to haggle them down, which personally I hate doing, but maybe my character's grown pretty good at it. I would say if you go to a medieval city a lot,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
probably good at it.
But yeah, you're unusually good since you have the skill. So so it's because buying supplies to be a wizard when you're on a budget, you've got to be a good haggler. I like that answer.
Cool.
So
Great.
that's just for human upbringing. What about for the halfling and the elf?
Nope.
We don't get the extra skill because
I think you're getting infravision.
Right.
right.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah,
also
exactly.
no.
No? So
No.
what? No. So what
No,
is
it's okay.
the expense?
It all comes out. They get an extra wise.
Oh, they
Right.
extra wise. Gotcha.
Mhm.
So now we're gonna do hometowns. So
Okay.
Torchbearer uses these sort of archetype towns. So when a game master creates the setting or uses a setting, they'll usually plug in like the names of the different, whatever towns are in the setting. They get mapped to like, the religious bastion is called this, the bustling metropolis is called this. But as for right now, we just use the generic archetypes. So I think Sanj, for example, he's an elf, but you in halls.
Yeah, I remember you gave me a little leeway. You let me pick a little like the healer and mentor, I think. No, I don't have mentor. Because I have armor.
That's from
And
Dwarf.
Right,
The
yeah.
Dwarven
Yeah,
thing.
armor would have come from Dwarven halls, yeah.
yeah, because my backstory is that I grew up in a dwarven hall, like the only elf learning how to be a smith with master craftsmen. And then they kicked me out because I was fucking a pointy ear fairy.
And they kicked Noggin out too, because I can't remember why, because he was like, I don't want to be a smith. I'm not into this shit.
Yeah.
So
There
they're
you
like,
go.
get the fuck out. Yeah, so you guys can pick whichever kind of sparks your fancy, and you can see like the skills and the traits. They kind of, you're going to choose one of each of those things, and that's because where you grew up colors how your character learned and what they're able to do and how what their character is like. Halflings are usually from remote villages.
Mhm.
So like you can picture like the Shire, like like Shire towns and stuff. But they can also be from anywhere, like they may have like ended up, they may have like, been on a caravan or something and they live in a busy crossroads or, any of these different things.
And
So whatever kind
what
of
point
interests you
value do we?
guys.
What's scholar used for as a skill?
Scholar, it's for, let's see.
Because I know I use theologian as a theurge for important stuff, and I use ritualist to cast spells, and I think theologian to get
Yeah, theologian is like, it's kind of like lore master. It's like the magician has lore master for figuring out magical stuff,
right,
knowledge of magical
right.
stuff. Theologian is the same thing for the Thurge with spirits,
So is scholar like
the pantheon.
Is scholar kind
Scholars,
of a helper skill for both those, that it's like the laborer of intellectual situations?
well, kind of. I mean, so you can, it's for reading. You can read weird inscriptions, histories. We'll have one of the factors is playtest documents. That's funny. Writing stuff down, copying things.
Right.
Researching is for researching too. So it says
Got it.
scholars specialize in writing accounts of events for historical records, as well as plumbing the depths of libraries and archives for their secrets. Use the scholar skill to write, read, research a subject, and to scribe spell scrolls and spell books. You wouldn't be doing that, but scholars it still is an important thing.
Can I ask, when we choose a skill and a trait, what level are we giving it?
Let's see. You choose one skill, and you give it a rating of 2. And if you already have the skill, you're going to raise it to a max, raise it by 1.
Does anybody
Mhm.
have the skill cartographer? Because that's really important to for mapping.
I do.
It is, yeah.
You do
I
have
have it.
cartographer,
Yep.
and you have it at level 2.
Yep.
Okay, so I could take cartographer and be able to help you with your maps, or I can leave you to figure out your own damn maps and raise my theologian and have a better score in theologian. That's the
Mm.
tricky part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think we
tough.
want to be spread out. I don't think we want much overlap yet.
I
But-
think
Here,
actually
yes,
the
opposite.
contrary.
Like, you
Eric
got to
just said
split.
the opposite.
Yeah, you split. You split. You want to split the difference. Like, it's good to have a wide range, but as much help as you can, it's also good too.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hey,
Pete, what do you?
you know.
is
what
Rider
do you-
useful for anything in this setting if we're gonna be like stuck in dungeons a lot?
Well, it exists because it can be used.
Mm.
If someone has rider, I'll make it interesting.
Mhm.
But like if you don't want rider,
Mm.
yeah, so stuff like rider, Pathfinder, I personally use those less a little bit in the game.
Okay.
So if you don't want to take those in favor of other things that are definitely more useful,
Mhm.
I'd say go for that.
All right, I'll
If
take
we
Hagler's. Sorry, go ahead.
because if we decided that we were going to do like a more, like Tolkien-esque sort of like setting or something, then yeah, like Rider, I would make Rider more interesting. Like Rider stuff like Commander stuff that's a little bit more like broad.
Mm.
Yeah, sure. But I think for this sort of classic dungeon crawl thing, Rider's not going to be really used. Long story
Okay.
short.
Because I
I'm glad-
have the other two options I have are Cook and Hagler. Now I could take Hagler and help with that, but I
Mhm.
already have Cook. So should I just like I feel like improving Cook isn't that helpful.
Well, it's not bad. What's your cook
Mhm.
at right now?
It's at 3 currently.
So having a cook of 4 is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Cook is pretty important.
All right, I'll take a
Um,
Cook of 4 then.
Yeah, Pete, like, because
Then-
it's so counterintuitive, and I kind of love it because this is like what most D&D games gloss over is
Mhm.
like having sustenance at the end of a day of fucking fighting orcs and almost dying.
Yeah, yeah.
People just like hand wave like eating, but in this game, if you don't eat, you're like sleepy and tired the next day.
Mm. Okay, so I took Cook, but as a side note, you guys got to check out Delicious in Dungeon. It's all
Yes.
about cooking food in a dungeon in a fantasy role-playing setting.
Right, and eating the monsters you kill. I think eat what you kill.
Yeah.
Is that a
So-
role like a tabletop or a?
It's
It's
an
a cartoon.
anime. Yeah.
So if I take Scholar, I can actually help with a couple of things that I'm trying to think what I'm trying to be helpful.
yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, as much shit I was talking about, being able to help each other and all the crossover. Also, you can do a fair amount of shooting from the hip too here.
Sure.
If something seems interesting, like like something that suits your character, do that. If something just seems to fit who your character is and what you picture them doing, don't worry so much about what you can help. Picture like what they're doing. As
Yeah,
as
I'm
their
also
own
trying to
people.
avoid. I have a tendency in past games of Burning Wheel and in this of spreading myself too thin and having a lot of twos that I'm rolling, which is really frustrating because there's a lot of failure involved. And the book advises that you want to concentrate your skills on a few things and be really good at a few things, especially if you're a beginning player. So that's like an argument for me to take theologian rather than scholar.
Right. Yeah.
What I'm using theologian for my I'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to move on.
So you're from the Religious Bastion.
I'm from the Religious Bastion, exactly.
Okay.
I'd already decided that. I just wasn't sure what I was taking from it. Where do I put that? That's home, Religious Bastion.
Yep. And then you're taking your first traits from here, guys.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, not your first trait. This will be your second trait. You get a trait from your class. So everyone make sure that
Okay.
you write your trait in from your class.
Paging backward to find out my trait.
Yeah, so
Touched by the gods.
the elf trait is firstborn. The halfling trait is hidden depths.
Hmm. Thank you.
And the human trait is, I mean, the third,
I got it. I'm good.
you're
Touched by the
good.
gods.
And wizard is wizard sight.
And where was that in the document?
It's
It's
in
on
page
page
26.
26 to 27.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's in the class entries, the class blocks.
Thanks.
So defender and scarred. That's an interesting choice.
Oh yeah, those are. I feel like those are different from the first edition. Those are both pretty intense, like right off the bat.
Right. The defenders, monsters, and villains are a fact of life in the wide world. Many are of the townsfolk who have been called upon to defend their homes without training, support, or even proper equipment. These people know the value and cost of defending one's home. Of course, when forced to choose, defenders often put their home above other concerns. And then scarred is survivors of terrible wars are scarred by their experiences. They're tough and not easily flustered by injury or fear, but they're also maimed or traumatized by their experiences.
Wow, that's heavy. What book is that from?
Page
That's the religious
181.
bastion traits.
Yeah. Religious Bastion is a weird place, it turns out. There are a lot of they're a paranoid bunch of the darkness is out there and it's coming to get us because we're the religious bastion. I'm starting to think of this as in dogs in the vineyard style.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I think I
I
might
like
take
that.
yeah, I think I might well take Scarred.
So I'll say this right now just about traits. Traits are really important in that when they apply to a test, you can invoke them and you get an extra die. If it's a level 1 trait, you can do that once per session. If it's a level 2 trait, you do it twice, and then if it's a level 3, you get you get +1 success on a roll, any roll that it applies. So they're used beneficially, but they're also you have to choose to use them against yourself
Right.
now and then, because that's how you gain checks. And the check is what allows you to camp, which is absolutely vital when you're fucking around in a dungeon. So you use your trait against yourself. That shows the human, you know what I mean, like not human the race, but
Flawed.
like flawed people.
Mortals.
Yep, mortal. Yeah, with the mortal tendency. In whatever your weak, your strength is also your weakness. So you're going to be using it against yourself, maybe on a test that you're going to fail, or you're going to use it on a test that that you're going to that you have like a million dice on. So you can use it there. You can use it to break ties in your opponent's favor, and you get 2 checks for that. So so that's something that it's easy to forget about doing in the game. So I just want to kind of plant that seed in you guys early on, is that traits are important, and make sure that you're thinking of ways to use them against yourself, because you're gonna need checks, and they're really really easy to overlook when when to try to get them, and etc. So okay, so Chuck, you chose theologian
Scarred.
there and scarred. Yep.
Yeah.
Hank, where are you from? Wizard's Tower?
Yep.
And what did you choose?
Wizard sight. I think I got that from my class, and thoughtful.
Okay.
Thoughtful.
And what skill did you choose?
Scholar, if I remember right.
Okay. And is that one that you already had it? Okay.
2 to 3.
Okay, and then Sanj, you came from the Dwarven Halls.
Yeah. So my trait I took is cunning. And my given trait for being an elf is firstborn. And my skill from the Dwarven Halls is armorer.
Cool. That's great. You can fix when armor gets damaged, this and that kind of
Right.
stuff out in the field.
You took the trait.
Okay.
You took the trait cunning, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. And then Pete, you said you're from the Busy Crossroads?
Yes, and I upgraded cook,
Nice.
and I took quick-witted for traits.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Great. Now, everybody chooses what are your social graces? How do you convince people that you're right or to do what you need? Choose one skill: haggler, manipulator, orator, and persuader. If you don't have it, give it a rating of 2. If you already do have it, increase it by 1 to a maximum of 4.
So this is one of these moments where I can boost my orator all the way up to 4, and she can be really good at talking to crowds, or I could take manipulator. And I'm just trying to get a sense of and have a manipulator of 2, an order of 3. Really have a hard time with this. I'm gonna double down on order. She's gonna be really good at talking to crowds, but unable to
Yeah.
talk to individuals.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, picture how your character is in social situations, a lot of these skills help each other. I think manipulator helps persuader and vice versa. So, having one will definitely help other people in whatever one
Right.
that they choose. That's one of the neat things about the social ones.
So I have persuader at 2.
Nice. Is that your only social skill?
Wow. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I can't lie.
And manipulator is helped by haggler and persuader.
Mm,
Haggler is helped by, where is it? Helped by manipulator. Let's see, orator.
that makes sense.
Manipulator
Yes.
is like
Orator's helped by manipulator, so it's like, yeah.
Manipulator's the if you're a liar, you can be useful all the time.
I
all
love
the
it.
time.
I'm
Lies,
taking-
half truth, ugly.
You can help people tell the
truth,
truth.
half-truth. Oh my God. See how it's tied to Burning Wheel. It goes, manipulators are lies, half truths, ugly truths, soothing platitudes, seduction, and intimidation
Oh,
to get what they want.
Yeah,
oh, that's
it's like
cool.
all those Burning Wheel skills boiled into one.
boiled into one. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
I took manipulator.
oh, good.
Yeah,
What's your level in manipulator now? Are you just at 2 or are you higher?
It's just 2.
Gotcha. And do you have any other social skills?
So quick-witted, that's not a skill, more of a trait. Criminal, fighter, hunter, manipulator, scavenger, scout. That's it for
Oh,
social stuff.
Okay, interesting. And Hank, what are yours? Did you just tell us? I don't think you have told us.
I went with persuader.
Got it. And is that your only? You at persuader 2?
Yeah.
Got it. And that's your only social skill. Okay, interesting. Good mix.
Cool. Awesome. So now, what's your specialty? So each player chooses a unique specialty for their character. No two can have the same specialty. Give it a rating of 2. And if you don't have it, you increase it by 1. So what I kind of find interesting is that specialty doesn't have any other use in the game, except for right now, you're just getting another skill. So I think it might be sort of like flavor wise, like you kind of like thought of as the, like, healer, I'm the healing is my thing or whatever. So yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but like this is just another way to optimize the group. So this is ways to pick up skills that aren't in the group right now already. So does anyone have Dungeoneer?
No.
That seems like it might be important.
The dwarf is the only one that starts with Dungeoneer. So so I would say someone should take Dungeoneer as their specialty.
I had healer, but I can replace it with engineer because I grew up in a dwarven hall.
Nice.
Chuck, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say I have healer already, and so I can bump my healer up to 3 right now.
That sounds
Use this opportunity to bump my healer up. So my
Yep.
healer's now at 3. And you guys are doing Dungeoneer. How many people do we have Dungeoneer? We have 2 people on Dungeoneer.
Nope. It's gonna be only one. If
Cool.
Elendil
Oh,
is the only one with that takes it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
take it.
Because Dwarf is the only one that starts with Dungeoneer.
Got it. Okay. I had thought
Um,
Hank was thinking about it. What are you doing, Hank?
I'm tempted to go with cook because I'm an alchemist already, and I think those are kind of similar. You know,
We do have a cook. What's our cook level at this point?
I have a
Pete?
4. I have a 4 in cook.
oh,
We
you
have a
have
very
a
good cook.
4 in cooking. Holy
Mhm.
crap! I'll never get as good as you probably. So let me take something different. I guess I will take Dungeoneer then.
That way you guys
We're
can help each other with the Dungeoneer. That'll be pretty useful.
only only one person. These specialties. Only one can be chosen.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
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 No
Not,
two
not
can
one
have the same
character
special.
in the group, one skill per player.
No two can have the
No.
same specialty.
No
Oh.
two within our group. So actually, only if Sanj, if you're our Dungeoneer, then we can't have a second Dungeoneer. Okay, that's
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
take something else.
So I can't pick Dungeoneer.
Right.
No,
No.
Okay.
but there are things that help Dungeoneer. Let's go look in
Laborer.
Dungeoneer and see what helps Dungeoneer.
Did
Does
we say we
anyone
have a
have-
cartographer already?
We do have a cartographer,
Do we have a hunter?
but no one else has chosen cartographer as their specialty. So someone can choose cartographer.
I'll do
Hunter
that.
would be helpful.
That sounds like a lore kind of thing. I'll do cartog.
Let me ask
Okay.
these
So
questions real quick.
if somebody wanted to help with Dungeoneer, somebody could choose Survivalist or Sapper. Both of those help with Dungeoneer. And Survivalist might be helpful in its own way.
Survivalist is helpful. Yeah. I was gonna ask if anyone did have Survivalist. If anyone comes with Survivalist.
I have survivalist too.
Okay, so
You
if
might
someone
bump
else,
that up to 3.
but if someone else chooses Survivalist, then
Hmm.
you have a helping situation happening.
Right.
I think that suits my character.
Okay.
Survivalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it has to do with procuring food, making sure like a campsite is safe. That kind of does seem like sounds like a halfling sort of like a hobbit sort of like,
Yeah.
you know, like let's get the homestead kind of like figured
Yeah.
out. That sounds cool. So survivalist there, and you're the cook as well. Sanj, you've got
Part-
Dungeoneer. What's that, Peter? Or Hank?
I've already had cartographer, so maybe I'll pick something else.
Having cartographer at 3 is not a terrible thing, right? You can bump it up to 3.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
good. Yeah. Cartographers is pretty important because if you're going through like a big difficult dungeon, what the cartographer does is as a player, you make a list of the areas that you've gone through. You're not like drawing a map, but you're going through like you say like, okay, long jagged corridor, and then like open area with statues, and then you just kind of you just note down all the different places in the dungeon that you've been. And when you get to camp, you can use cartographer to make a map. And if you're successful, you can fast travel to anywhere that you've been before. You can bypass whatever dangers are there that I would normally have to make you roll for and like go through all the difficulty of actually retraversing. So cartographer is pretty slick. So if you have it at 3 now, Hank?
I have cartographer to 3.
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
And I
And
can
then other
actually
people can
help your
help.
cartographer because I've got scholar. No, I don't have scholar, so I can't help you. So yeah, you're on your own. So it's good that you have it at 3.
Yep. So okay, cool. So that's the specialties. Now, if we had paper character sheets, you would like underline or you'd write down you'd circle your specialty. But just see if you can note it somewhere, like what it is, what your specialty is. In notes or something somewhere. I want to sort of like house rule something with the specialties to make them sound to make it seem more important than just you gained another skill
Okay.
in character creation. But anyway,
Got
let's
it.
move on. So now we've got wises. So in Burning Wheel, wises are rolled like skills. And you create information, create, stuff in the game, etc. But in Burning Wheel or on Torchbearer and Muscar, they work that way too. In Torchbearer, they're used to help other people, and to do rerolls, of your own, skill checks. So these are your knowledges, your special, special information that you know. So you can go down the list here. Dwarves, elves, halflings, and humans, they each have ones that they start with, and then you can choose another one. So elves, you'd start with Elven Lore Wise, or Folly of Humanity, or Folly of Dwarves Wise. And then you can take a second wise of your choice, following the guidelines below. Halflings, you choose Home Wise or Needs a Little Salt Wise. And then you can take a second wise of your choice. Humans, you just choose one wise. See that this is where the demi-humans get a little more of an advantage. I mean, they don't get the human upbringing skill, but they get another wise.
So when they say under humans, it says choose a wise, either take one of our examples. The examples are in the wisest chapter. Is that what they mean?
There's wises down. There's specific town wise, specific location wise. There's examples down underneath in this little section right here.
Got it. Okay.
I definitely want to pick book wise. That looks interesting to me.
Do you think so this can give us, this is like a bit of a world building piece where we could make up a location wise, and that becomes like a place in the game, or you know what I mean? Like it says here,
Yeah.
Temple of Black Skulls wise. Is that that's somebody saying, I know a lot about this amazing place called Temple of the Black Skulls, and one day we should go there.
Yeah, kind of. I actually kind of find it interesting that you'd start with an adventure site, wise, knowledge of it, because that means that I would bring you there.
Yeah.
Which is totally possible. But yeah, I guess my answer is yes. In a way that it is world building. But it's so specific that when you're not there, you're never going to develop that wise.
What kind of bad guys are
Guys, I gotta
does
move
this
my
world?
truck. I gotta move my truck really quick. It's probably only gonna take me 5 minutes, but I'll go off camera and then come back.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Is there is this world a world with orcs and hobgoblins and those kind of bad guys?
Kind of. I hate that kind of shit though.
Right.
I'm not, because I don't want you guys just going and fighting the other, the humanoids
Yeah.
that are the other. I hate that shit.
Me too.
It's boring and just
So
not
can you say
interesting.
something like barbarian wise, or
Well, see, if you did have something like orc wise or barbarian wise, that to me that would mean that you've communicated with them, you've had
yeah.
them as a people, not as an
Mm.
enemy, so
It.
that would mean that if you did have something like orc wise, that would mean that orcs are a people, a community,
Mhm.
and you know things about them, not
Mhm.
necessarily that that you're going to be going,
I'm gonna be
that you
killing
have
them.
it right,
I'm gonna be
because I
using
mean,
them.
because just me as a GM, I'm not going to have you. Well, I mean, this game also isn't about just going somewhere to kill things. It's about going to
Plunder.
drag loot out of a hole. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can survive.
Mhm.
So I mean, and also the name of the game is trying to avoid actual fighting as much as you possibly can,
What about
So I'm never going to make it
trap-wise?
so there's what's that?
Trap-wise would be, is that a
I took Trapwise.
Oh,
that's
nice.
that's very good for a halfling for sure.
Cool.
Should I
Yeah.
take that too or no?
Well,
Not really.
no, because wises aren't like skills
Okay.
in this game. They work differently.
Okay.
And I'll just go over how wises actually work real quick. So a wise represents special esoteric knowledge about a particular narrow subject. Wises are different from ability, skills, and traits. They have no rating. Either you're wise about something or you're not. Let me go through here. I'll skip through some of these things. Okay, so there's a couple of different effects that they have. So one of them is I am wise. You simply advise your friend. You look over their shoulder, point out their mistakes, or illuminate facts of the matter previously unknown to them. So you're going to grant one die to a test related to your wise that is made by your friend or ally. We call this die aid to differentiate it from help. So it works like help. It works like you're giving someone a help die, a skill die, but you are insulating yourself from any twists or conditions that would happen from them failing, because you're using, because you're not hands-on. You're just sort of lending some information. So, and if you do that, underneath your wise, it says pass and fail.
Yeah.
So you're gonna check off whether they pass on one, and if you do it another time, and if they fail, you check off the fail. And this is how you develop your wises. Then there's the deeper understanding. So you spend a fate point to re-roll any single failed die on a roll related to your wise. So that's what the fate thing is. That's the little thing that says fate under your wise. And then persona, spend a persona point to re-roll all failed dice on a test related to your wise. So when using, of course, declare of course, and note that you were wrong initially, but now you have it all correct. So you can think of your wises as, well, A, aiding your friends, but B, it's the safety net after. Wises are the things that kind of like help you after you fuck something up.
Cool.
So, I'm because we decided the Religious Bastion is this place of sort of spiritual paranoia where they believe the forces of darkness are arrayed against them, and a bunch of one possibility here would be to take something like forces of darkness wise, or the powers of darkness wise, where most of her wisdom is going to come in the form of knowing that the evil one or the dark one is behind a lot of our temptations and stuff like that. I don't want it to be too vague, because then I'll start being able to use it in any situation. At the same time, if it's just as narrow as demons wise or devils wise, then I don't know if we have a campaign that's going to revolve around or have much contact with devils and demons. So
Forces of Darkness is awesome.
okay,
That's what you said, Forces of Darkness?
Forces of Darkness wise.
Yeah, no, I think that's great, because it's broad, but you might not always be coming up against the forces of darkness. But if you do, you will have a good sort of general experience with them.
Thank you. Okay,
so yeah,
helpful.
so I think that's good. And also I like the idea. I mean, you're actually kind of playing into some ideas for kind of like a setting sort of flavor kind of that I'm also kind of working on too. So that definitely helps. That there is a dark evil force.
Right. It's not the orcs. It's the orcs are
Right.
not the force of darkness, but there is a force of darkness out there that might enchain individuals and peoples. Right.
Yep. Yeah, I dig that, and I like this idea of, what did you say, spiritual paranoia?
Spiritual paranoia. Yeah.
I love that. It sounds awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Great. So Pete, you have traps wise, right?
Yes.
And for your first halfling wise, was it home wise or needs a little salt wise?
I took home wise. Also, I wouldn't mind a little kind of explanation of needs a little salt wise.
It's tough. It's kind of hard to explain. I've never really fully wrapped my head around it. I think it means like you're kind of like, it's
Well, it's
like
used in
maybe
cooking,
like
right? I mean, it's
cooking,
obviously
yeah, but like making minor adjustments,
Yeah.
like this could use a little more of this or that. Like it might be kind of
Gotcha.
like a nitpicking,
Mm.
sort of like a fussy, like a fussiness.
Mhm.
So
cute.
I think like so it can be used kind of broadly, which we don't want, but if you can you can kind of tailor it to what it's going to start meaning.
right.
No, actually no, wait, you didn't take it. You didn't take it, so never mind. Unless you
if
want
you had it,
unless you want to switch to it.
if you
Yeah,
had it,
I thought because I was a cook, maybe that would be like over the top. But I'll just take home wise. I think I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Eric, I could use some help. So I chose Folly of the Dwarves wise as the first piece.
Mhm.
Talk about like Moria and places like that. And then for my second wise, maybe some like campaign related ideas you have, like you mentioned about Forces of Darkness. Is there anything like ancient forest or some, like long forgotten place or um you know Heart of Darkness wise, like the central, the evil corrupted place of deep in the forest that I kind of like obsessively researching or studying or fascinated by, or
Maybe you're well, because you know how elves are in this sort of like half dream kind of thing.
yeah.
Maybe you're dreaming of, maybe you have like this sort of like what feels like firsthand knowledge of this like dark, like primeval forest
Mm,
or something. And it's because you're dreaming, you dream of that place
mm,
or something like that, and you're hoping, you don't know where it is, but like you're always kind of like hoping that
mm,
you're gonna find it.
cool.
Not to say what your character wants, but like, it could be something like that. It's on your mind, and because you
It's
believe it
just like
exists.
like a kind of like a dark obsession, or something like a twist a little bit. Like this character so far is very straightforward with, like very rational,
Yeah.
even the belief is I am the logical one. Um, and then this is that kind of like um uh paranoia or worry or something that's like a nightmare that's happening about this dark forest, right?
Yep. And it's real. That's
Yeah.
that's the cool thing. It's not just this like, it's actually real thing. That's cool. I mean, if you maybe Allendale has a name for this like dream forest,
Yeah, that,
that he visits sometimes when he's subconscious.
oh, cool.
So yeah, so you can say whatever that name is or something
I
wise.
don't maybe I don't even necessarily see it as forests. Um,
But this also makes it sort of very limited, because to be able to use it, you're gonna need to go there. So, hmm, we can think about this for a little while.
mhm. For
Yeah,
now,
because
I'm
this
gonna
is
put a placeholder for dream place wise. And then
cool.
we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Okay, so
Cool.
Hank, you said you chose bookwise.
Yep.
Hey,
Cool. Great. All right, so we all have our wises. Now we're going to go to nature. So nature is a pretty interesting ability in this game. It's right next to will and health. It works in a similar way. You can default to it if you don't have a skill for something. I won't go into the nuts and bolts of that. We'll do that when we get to it. But nature is a trait where, or not a trait, an ability where it goes up and down. So the higher it is, the more like your stock you are. The lower it is, the less like your stock you are, and the more you are like a wanderer, basically like an adventurer, with no roots, with no real like identity of their own. So um it goes up and down in play when you use it, if you're using it within your nature or with, outside of your nature. So it starts at 3. Yeah, it starts at 3. And then we're going to go down through, and I'm going to ask you guys questions, and it's going to go up or down. But the first thing you're going to do is that humans, you've got your nature descriptors of boasting, demanding, and running. So you're going to write those in. The halfling, you've got sneaking, riddling, and merrymaking. And then the elf, you've got singing, remembering, and hiding. So essentially, I know I just said I'm not going to explain the nuts and bolts of it, but I'll give a hint to it. If you don't have a skill, if you don't have the skill required for a test, you can use your nature. And if it's covered by one of your nature descriptors, you're acting within your nature. If it's outside of your nature, you can still use your nature, but if you fail, you tax your nature. Your nature will go down. So you're less like your people. You're less like these, intrinsic qualities. It's actually a really pretty genius mechanic.
Yeah.
And whatever your nature is, if you're learning a skill, you need to use the skill a number of times equal to your nature. So the higher your nature is, the more like your people you are, the less easy it is to learn things, to learn new things. The lower it is, the easier it is. So if you have like a lower nature, it's very easy for you to pick up lots of different things, but your nature is really low, and then you run the risk of just losing yourself to the adventurer's lifestyle. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how that works. So you guys got your nature descriptors written in there?
Mine is I actually went with enchanting instead of singing, because of the question. If you bend your will to crafting elven artifacts, replace your singing nature descriptor with enchanting.
Oh, okay, and that you did that. That's from last time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
All
he's
right,
done his questions already. Okay, cool.
Yeah, from last time. So let's go with Sister Cadigan. Cadigan or
Okay.
Cadogan? Cadigan is cool. Cadigan.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sister Cadigan.
All right. So you are human. Actually, and do these at the same time. I'll read the question and then you guys can both answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you sit by the hearth by the hearth at night, drinking and boasting of your great deeds, or do you spend those chill nights quietly preparing for the dark times to come?
Oh, she's a quiet preparer, no question.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Hank?
Oh, say that again. Sorry.
Do you sit by the hearth at night, drinking and boasting of your great deeds, or do you spend those chill nights quietly preparing for the dark times to come?
I will say I will spend my time quietly preparing for the dark times to come.
Cool. Okay. So let's see. If you quietly prepare, increase your class trait to level 2.
Last trait.
So your trait and yours, you guys did it. The trait.
That's what
I have touched by the gods as my class trait, so I've now increased it to level 2.
Nice.
That's actually really cool. As a wizard, you're preparing, and so your wizard side is going up. So you're preparing, like, you're sort of like, probing in a magical wizardy way. So and then the other human class is a warrior, and it has something. It's like heart of battle. So they're preparing for a fight.
It's like
that's
fucking
cool.
Saruman and the crystal ball. Like,
that's pretty neat little. Yeah, that's cool. Great. Okay, so next question. When the elves and dwarves voice their concerns, wait. So you guys understood how to change the level of the trait, right?
I did.
You got that figured out?
Yeah.
Okay. When the elves and dwarves voice their concerns, do you demand to be heard as an equal, or do you bow your head and listen to the wisdom of your elders?
Sister Cadigan demands to be heard as an equal.
Okay. Hank?
I'm young. I think I'm gonna be the outcast here and say that I bow and listen to my elders.
Good.
Cool.
Love it.
Awesome. So if you demand your rights, increase your nature by 1. So that's so Chuck, you're going to increase your nature by 1.
Done.
And then if you listen to the wisdom of the elder ones, take a second wise, elf wise, dwarf wise, or politics wise.
Elf wise.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, so a third question. Would you flee from the hordes of goblins, beasts, and monsters who prey on civilization? Or will you plunge into their midst, questing for glory? So, we'll say goblins, beasts, monsters. We'll say whatever, like the dark forces, that are kind of like the corrupt, coming out of the shadows there. So will you plunge into their midst, or Will you flee from them, Cadogan, Cadigan?
I think she's gonna plunge into their midst.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Okay, cool. If you do not fear those who prey on civilization, you may replace your home trait with loner, foolhardy, or defender. If you have one of these traits already, increase it by 1.
Oh, okay. Now I think I want to take defender instead of scarred so that I can increase it by 1, if that's all right with you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
It's
You
totally
said
cool to go back and adjust things.
That's so neat how it just like works like that's really cool.
Say that again, Pete. Hank?
Can you just repeat what the last thing we should do is? If we have one of 3 traits, we do what?
Yeah, okay, so you can replace your home trait, so the one that you got from your hometown. You can replace it with loner, foolhardy, or defender. And if you already have one of those, you increase it by 1. If you don't want to replace it and you don't have it, nothing happens. Which is fine.
No, I think I'm gonna stick with thoughtful.
Cool.
In that case, do you want to take the other option and run away when faced by the forces of darkness so you can get the other benefit?
And nature goes up, which is it's good, but flavor wise though, like
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to min-max
Yeah.
it. Excuse me. Sorry. I apologize.
no, I mean also though, like min-maxing is a little bit of a part of the character creation process, a little bit here, as much as it's a burning wheel,
Mhm. Yeah.
character-y game. So yes, you're not wrong. It's always fun to get an advantage, But yeah, so you're just gonna keep it where it is, Hank. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good choices.
All right, great. So let's go to Pete. Lang, ready for your
Yep.
questions?
I am.
All right. So, do you make the most out of every meal, slathering it with butter, lavishing it with syrup, worshiping it with wine? Or do you tighten your belt, shoo away guests, and make fast the locks at night?
So the weird thing is like halflings are all about the merrymaking and all that. So that would be like kind of a nature thing.
Yep.
Or do you tighten your belt, shoo away guests?
Yeah, so in this part, like, don't think of what the advantage or the change to your character might be. Just picture what how your character is and what, like, who they
All right.
really
The
are.
latter, then make fast the locks and tighten your belt, shoo away guests. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you tighten your belt with a grim face, replace your merrymaking descriptor with hoarding.
That's so clever.
Where's the descriptors?
To your
You
nature
go up to the
descriptors.
Yeah.
upper right hand corner.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Hoarding.
Neat.
I really have that problem with RPG books.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, shoo away anyone who wants to play the games, but we collect all the books.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got so many freaking books. I stopped with Knave.
When people share their feeble collections online, I evilly laugh.
All right, so now, okay, so when confronted by bullying big folk, Pete,
Yep.
are you cool with that? Do you feel all right with that?
I do, yeah.
Because if you did like merrymaking, we can, you can choose the other. You can choose the other one.
No, I like the hoarding actually.
Cool. All right, so when confronted by bullying big folk, do you put them in their place with a witty riddle, or do you roll up your sleeves and show them you're ready to teach them a lesson?
Witty riddle.
Okay. If you offer up a clever riddle, increase your nature by 1.
And so here it has nature 1/1.
It
Am
should
I
have started
going-
at 3.
Okay. So, but is it like the ratio?
No,
No,
it should have started at 3,
so-
3.
Yeah, it should be 3-3. Yeah, so
Gotcha.
the first one is your current. No, the first one is your permanent one. The second one is when it goes up, when it's taxed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so now it's going to be 4-4.
Okay.
All right, so now, do you sneak into dragons' lairs just to see what all the fuss is about? Or do you prefer to announce your intentions and have a frank conversation about your concerns?
It's so cute.
Mm, sorry, I was looking at the wrong part of the page. Sneaking
Okay.
around, do fusses about, or do you prefer to announce your? I think it's more straightforward and direct. I think it's announcing your intentions.
Okay. So you're gonna replace your sneaking nature descriptor with demanding.
Oh,
Hmm.
I think we're going to regret that.
Yeah.
And Pete, if you don't like
Can I
that, that's
backpedal?
okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Because what's cool is if you so okay, so this is a perfect example of how using your nature instead of a skill works. So if you increase your nature again by 1, that's going to bring your nature to 5, right?
Yeah.
So oh, never mind. I'm looking at my character, delving, crafting, and avenging grudges. Never mind. Yeah. What are your nature descriptors now?
Sneaking, riddling, hoarding.
Yeah. So like you can, your nature is higher. So like you can, if you don't have the skills, that could be covered by your nature descriptors. You'd be rolling 5 dice. You'd be using your nature.
Mm.
So you can do this in clever ways. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
gonna
that's gonna be
stick with the
great.
first option, the sneaking into dragon slayers.
cool. Yeah. So so you increase your nature by 1,
Okay.
and that's that. So now we're gonna go to the elf. Ready, Sanj? I know
Yep.
you did it. You did it, but we can do
Yeah,
it
yeah. I
for
want
for
everybody
everybody.
to. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Okay. So have you learned the songs, sing them to mend hearts and calm storms, or do you focus your ancient will into crafting works of unparalleled beauty?
I focus works of unparalleled beauty. That's what I'm into.
Okay. So if you bend your will to crafting elven artifacts, replace your singing nature descriptor with enchanting.
Yep. When
So
yeah,
that means that so this means, like if you're trying to do some type of enchanting thing or anything like with that, you don't have any skill like that, so you would default to your nature. You can use your nature instead of doing a beginner's luck.
cool.
Okay, so when evil stalks the world, do you confront it or do you retreat to the hidden places of the elves and allow time to defeat your enemies?
Yeah, I confront evil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So now you're going to increase your firstborn trait to level 2.
cool. Great.
So guys, trait level 2 means you can use it positively twice in a session.
Nice.
Okay, so now do you yearn to follow the gulls to the sea and journey west beyond all knowledge? Or are you prepared to live a life of struggle and grief?
Mm. That's cool. I am prepared to live a life of struggle. The second
Okay,
one.
so you're
So
going to replace your home trait with fiery, curious, or restless.
neato. So I had cunning. I'm going to replace it with curious.
Cool. Awesome.
Nice. Talk.
So, how's everybody feeling? Pretty good so far?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So now we're going to go with circles and relationships. So anyone familiar with Burning Wheel knows about how circles works basically the same way. You do circles in town when you're in a town phase to try to find people that you need. It's less elaborate than not elaborate, but it's less it's more functional in this game. You're trying to find someone to get something right out of them right in the moment. And then relationships are, you just have a few built-in people in your life that you can do various things with. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Circles starts at 1, so everyone put 1 in their circles.
Mhm.
Side note, put resources at 0. We'll do
Mhm.
that comes next, but you can just put a 0 in there now.
Mhm.
And I'm going to ask I'm going to ask a question, and we'll just go down through everyone, and you can ask. Everyone will answer the same. Everyone will answer the same question.
Cool.
So, answer the following questions to generate relationships and a circles rating. You cannot take a friend, parents, mentor, and an enemy. You can choose to have 3 of the 4 at best. So, okay. So now, first one: do you have friends who enjoy your occasional visits, or are you a loner, tough and cool? Warning.
I think we should go through these for each person just so we have a chance to meet these characters as they develop.
Oh, individually.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, that works. Who wants to go first?
I
I'll go
will.
first. Oh, go ahead.
Wait, who said? Pete, new Pete?
New Pete.
Okay, cool. Yeah, are you a loner, tough and cool, or do you have friends who enjoy your occasional visits?
Definitely a loner.
Okay, that's quick. So that means your circle starts at 1 and you have an enemy.
Mhm.
You can write down the name of your nemesis or mortal
Mhm.
enemy on your character sheet.
Mhm.
And then you skip the rest of the circles and relationships questions
Mhm.
and take the loner trait at level 1 or increase it if you already have it.
Nice.
Also, go get snacks for the rest of the group while they finish answering the circles questions. So I'll say this now: if you did want to have family or a mentor or different things like that,
Mhm.
you can change your answer, because it is pretty harsh. We're like, oh, I'm a loner, and they're like, okay, well, tough
No
shit.
circles. Yeah.
So if you did want to change that, that's totally cool. If you
Mhm.
want to be the loner, that's cool too. And that's just a warning to everybody else. If you do want to be a loner, you
Where
other.
would he
Mhm.
write his enemy relationship down?
I was
There's a
looking for that.
relationships tab.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually it's under who you
Gotcha.
are. Under who you are, it says name, stock, class, and then next to that, parents, mentor, friend, enemy.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
in the relationships, there is a relationships tab where you can add details.
okay.
Got it.
Yep. But you can write it right there because these things are important, like right on the face.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I'm gonna backpedal on that.
Yeah, it's a tough life as a loner, actually. I
Yeah,
think you're making a good choice.
And it
Mm.
kind of doesn't. I mean, halflings, even though you're a little bit more like fastidious, I really do feel like you've got some chums and stuff.
Mm.
All right, so
Um,
so you do have friends.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you have a friend, add +1 circles.
Okay.
Some friends will help on the road or in the wild. Others will help in towns. So
Mhm.
see the starting friend rules. So we'll loop back to your friends
Okay.
Okay.
after at the end. So now, do you have parents you can stomach talking to, or are you an orphan?
Orphan for sure this time.
Yep, and you can still keep going. This isn't
Mhm.
orphan's not a dead end.
Okay.
If you're an orphan, you have a keepsake from your parents that is worn around your neck or on one hand.
Mhm.
Describe its sentimental value. It's worth 1 die of treasure.
Mhm.
Nice.
I like how it says like it's sentimental, but it's also worth money.
Yeah, you'll spend it when you're desperate.
Yep,
It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
and then you put it in your inventory.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
that's dope.
inventory is on the kit section. So you'll write it in wherever where you want to put it. And you can describe what it looks like and stuff like that.
Wow.
Now, did you have a mentor, or did you make your own way in this rough life?
Hold on, I gotta write down the thing in the kit or I'll forget it.
Oh,
So,
sure.
sentimental thing.
That I love this. I love this character creation process
Yeah.
It's really cool.
because I like how it generates the like such a fulsome D&D character, but with all these bits that usually don't really get talked about.
Mhm.
Mm.
Did you,
Okay.
Pete? Did you decide what is it that you have?
No, I haven't thought of anything yet. I just wrote sentimental thing so that I remember I
it.
have something.
Got it. Got
Okay.
it. Good choice.
And am I putting any points anywhere here?
No,
Nope.
not yet.
Okay. Cool.
So
Oh,
so that means your circles is still at 1.
Yeah.
right.
2.
And 2, because he does have a friend.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. Forgot about that. Okay. So now, did you have a mentor, or did you make your own way in this rough life?
Made my own way.
Okay. You start with a pouch of gold coins worth 2 dice of treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Belt 1.
Yep. So you're gonna put that on your belt. It can also go in your pack. I feel like it's it's pack one. Belt 1 is pack 1.
So
So
what was it? Pouch of coins?
you have
Yeah,
a pouch of gold coins.
2 dice of treasure.
So in kit.
Okay.
Okay. And now, have you made an enemy in your life, or have your dubious deeds managed to escape notice? So if you do have an enemy, your circles increases, which means you have more of a social impact. And then you're going to note your enemy's name. And if you don't, the benefit for not having an enemy is not having an enemy.
Yeah.
So if you have an enemy and
Mhm.
they're in the same place where you are,
Mhm.
like they're going to fuck with you.
Yeah.
We actually had like a really great time in another campaign where somebody's enemy. I think they had 2 enemies and they were just
Mhm.
constantly getting messed with, and it sucked. But it was also like it was really fun too. But if this is something that you want to have as an interesting thing in the game, by all means do it. If not, it's great too.
Okay. Well, I have a kind of a character concept where he's a thrall. And so perhaps the enemy is like the slave owner.
Oh. You an escaped slave?
Not escaped. I'm being sent out into this as a slave.
Oh, wow. Dark.
Like I have responsibilities to bring back whatever I get to my slave owner.
Interesting. That's
Seems like a good
I don't
starting
know if
position.
I don't know if your enemy would be your owner though,
Okay. So how
because
about
Unless you
like a
stop working
rival
for him.
slave?
it could be, like there's
Okay.
another one who is, it could be a rival.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting and strange, and giving
Yeah.
me like an interesting like idea of the world.
hmm
Oh yeah, it's a little grimmer than I was picturing. Cool,
Neat.
Yeah.
nice. I mean, I'm all for a grim Torchbearer. It does have a
Mhm.
grimness to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. So
All
I'm
right, so you've got
circles 3, enemy, rival, slave.
yep, yeah, and we'll flesh them out. When
Mm.
Nice.
yeah, and the thing with friends and enemies is, well, like friends, they're either like a town friend or like an adventuring friend. I think
Mhm.
enemy, your enemy is similar. So we'll
Okay.
flesh that out.
Cool.
Looping around. Um, and we flesh these things out like after, because other people might have friends, mentors, and stuff, and we can all kind of blend.
Make it all work together. Okay.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can go through this pretty quickly. Sister Cadigan is not a loner. So she has a friend. So that circles 2. She has parents, so that circles 3.
Okay. Hold on one sec. So you're gonna note your family name or your parents' names on your character sheet, and then you choose a
Okay.
trade for your parents from your hometown skill list.
Right. Got it. So the hometown is now at this point the religious bastion. And I think her parents are
And it doesn't have to
earlier
be the skill that you chose.
got it. Well, sorry, skill list.
Yeah, so it's gonna be cartographer, scholar, or theologian.
Let's make them a scholars.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
I'll give their name in a bit, but I just wrote down that they're scholars for the moment.
Yep.
So I have parents. I have a friend. We'll work on the friend later. I think she also has a mentor. So that would bring her circles to 4. And I need a
Wait, so
mentor's
1,
name.
2, 3. Yes, okay, 4. Yep. So they're going to be a 7th level of adventure of your class. Yeah, so there that's an important mentors are cool. Mentors are um in some ways, I mean, it's parent having parents out there is cool, but like a mentor is could be even more important, even more of an asset. Um, yes, you can come up with that name. Now, do you have an enemy? Actually, no. So you have a friend, you have parents, and you have a mentor. So,
And then the question is whether she wants an enemy as well.
well,
And
you can only have three of the
you can
four.
you can only have three of the four. Great, because I was thinking that was I was had too many already, so that's good. Okay, good.
So
Good.
it's almost like you're so insulated. You have a
Right.
friend and a family and a mentor that maybe you haven't had a chance to, you haven't had the exposure to get an enemy.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the friend rules, it says starting friend rules, if your friend is town bound, choose in what settlement they live. Doesn't have to be in the same settlement that your parents are from.
Right. It can be anywhere.
Okay.
And we can talk about that after. I mean,
Okay.
like
Let's move on to the
uh
next person then. Great.
yeah, because I'm coming up with some setting ideas and stuff that I'm going to overlay with the adventure that we're going to do. So we can kind of wrap up the setting details after all this.
All right.
All right, cool. Let's see, Pete, Hank,
Yeah, I am
do you have?
gonna do the very social person. So I'm gonna have a friend. I am going to have parents, and I am going to have a mentor.
Okay, so no enemy.
So circles 4.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Cool.
family name. Let's see. What did we in the parents? Do we put our family name there or?
Yep, yep. Put your family name. You can put their first names. You can put, whatever what if you have a surname, if that's part of your culture or whatever. But you also choose what profession they are. So you're from the Wizard's Tower.
Yeah.
So they're alchemists, lore masters, or scholars.
I'll say an alchemist and a scholar.
It would just be both of them. Yeah, you would just choose one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scholar.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, now Sanj.
Yep. Yes. So, do you have a friend who you enjoy your occasional visits with? Yes, I have a friend. She is a fellow adventurer, an elven adventurer. So circles 2, 1, 2, and then do you have parents? No, I'm an orphan. So I do have a keepsake from my homeland. I do have a mentor. He's a dwarf blacksmith who's teaching me how to work my blades. And I have an enemy, a hateful dwarf that's racist.
Okay,
Nice.
excellent.
So that lands me at circles 3, I think, right? 1 starting, 2, 3, 4. I get 1 for friend, 1 for
Yep.
mentor, and 1 for enemy. Correct?
Okay. Yep.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, so that's everybody. And we'll wrap up all those details. Kind of like between, after we're done with this, and then when we play again for the starting situation. Now we go to starting resources. So you may have been wealthy, well accoutred, or wholesome once. Now you have fallen on hard times. Your pockets are empty, much like your stomach. All you own, you carry on your back. Adventures start with resources 0, unless otherwise noted. So now you're going to choose your adventuring gear. So all the characters begin the game with a well-worn set of clothes and a utilitarian belt. Shoes are optional. So if you want shoes, write them down. If you don't have them, I'm going to take advantage of that. Um,
Is there a rule about halflings and like the condition of their feet? Like, like are they tougher feet? Like because
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
like the default. I can't remember if it's written anywhere. But I've kind of like absorbed this is that like you don't need to have shoes on. So like if there were any like issues for rough terrain or like needing shoes, that it doesn't apply to you.
Cool.
Yep. Um,
I'm gonna just head up upstairs. I did all this before with you, so I have leather
Okay.
armor and all that stuff. Yeah.
okay, cool. Um, so now we can click over to the kit section. And let's see. So now you're going to decide whether you want a backpack or a satchel. Backpacks take up 2 slots on your torso. A satchel takes up 1. Backpacks hold 6 inventory. Satchels hold 3.
Okay.
Let's see. Now you can go in and you're going to fill up your pack with whatever you want. There's no there's no money in the beginning here to buy stuff with. You just put whatever you want, fill it up. It's the generosity of the beginning of the game. The thing is, important stuff is the Thurge. You're going to start with sacramentals, which are little knickknacks that help your invocations. So you're going to roll 3d6. Hank, you're going to roll 2d6 to figure out your magic school and your starting spell library.
Okay. Wow. 1 and 1.
Necromancy.
Whoa.
So you start with demonic stupefaction, supernal vision, and wisdom of the sages. Actually, those wisdom of the sages and supernal vision are awesome. Like
Where do I put
really
those?
great, really
Where did
great for
you-
the beginning of the game.
Where did you look those numbers up? Oh, I see. This is on page 41 and 42, huh?
Yep, and those will go in magic.
Okay. And so my roll of 8 brings me to set of bone knitting needles in the skull of Saint Barnabas, bone knitter and Catholicon of the Lord of Plagues.
So the invocations, those aren't just the ones that you have. Those are what those relics
Help you with.
So
Right.
as a Thurge, just like a cleric in D&D, you have access to all the spells. It's just a matter of the burden that you want to take on from them. It's only the wizard who has limited power and a more complex way of using their magic. But no, actually, Hank, those spells are actually pretty cool. Yeah, Wisdom of the Sages allows you to like read languages that you don't know, and Supernal Vision, I think it's kind of like aura reading. You can like pick up, magical presences and stuff like that. So it's actually very cool.
I'm assuming that each of these relics takes up 1 slot in my backpack.
Yep. It's kind of cool. You're toting a skull around.
Yeah.
So Hank, you've got a spell book, and that takes up pack 2. And you guys can choose your starting weapons and armor. That's another good place to start. So let's see.
Takes
Burglar, Outcast.
Did you say?
What's that?
I put that in relics, the spell book.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. That's gonna go goes in your backpack. Or satchel if you choose to bring a satchel, but you should probably choose a backpack because it takes up so much room. So you're gonna put spellbook like in 2 slots. You're gonna write spellbook in 2 backpack slots.
2 backpack slots. I'm trying to find that kit. Fleet. Oh, got it. Backpack. There we go.
So, Sandra already did this. So Pete, you're gonna put leather armor. That's gonna go on 1 of your torso slots. And then you can use a we can start the game with one weapon of your choice, any of these weapons. But I think there is a limit. Yeah, you can wield any weapon except crossbow, greatsword, halberd, or polearm. So you can use any of these other weapons.
Hmm. Is there a list
Um,
of the available weapons, or can I just kind of get creative?
Nope.
Mm.
There's a list.
Okay.
It's in there. I'm not sure exactly what page.
Mhm.
It's further into the character creation chapter.
So
Okay,
it's
and does weapon go into a slot here somewhere?
Yep.
Like into an
Yep.
inventory slot? Hmm.
Yep. Depending on what it is, it can go on your belt.
Mhm.
Certain things you just have to carry, but I don't think as a halfling you'll have a big weapon like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so any of these things you can use, and you just put them somewhere on your inventory.
Okay, so
Belt is a
for
very
example,
common place for. Go ahead.
gotcha. Nope, you answered that question. Belt is correct for whatever type of weapon. So I'm just gonna type in weapon until I flesh out the idea.
Okay.
so it
Daggers and slings are pretty common for halflings. But you can
Mm,
choose, whatever you like. Chuck,
okay.
what were you gonna say?
so theurgers are don't start with armor, but can carry a shield as noted above. But shields are treated as weapons, or are they defensive as well?
Well, it's a weapon, but you get a bonus on defense. It's a
I gotcha.
defensive weapon. But I mean, like if you're attacking, if your action is attack and your weapon is a shield, you're bashing with it.
Got it.
It
Got it.
means that you're not. It means that you're armed. It means that you're not getting a
Right.
disadvantage for being
Now,
unarmed.
if I choose a shield, I can't then also choose a battle axe, which requires two hands to wield, and I have to choose a one-handed weapon.
Right.
This is I have a sword and so because of my this is from the character sheet from before, Eric.
Okay.
My token from my parentage is I wrote signet ring, like 1D treasure. So
Mhm.
like it's so cheesy, like the orphan elf noble, like it's like uh,
Yeah.
I kind of like tropes, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Because then you can really work with them. You can do
uh,
a lot of things with them.
it just gives you a good foundation for role playing. Is there, so we're still in kit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hank, as a magician, you can start with a dagger or a staff.
I'm gonna do staff.
Cool. All right. So that's gonna be carried. It's gonna be a hands carried.
One slot.
Yep. And then Chuck, did you choose a weapon?
Yeah, I decided to go with sword. Hand axe is also an option. I haven't quite figured out what the difference is between those two weapons, but
Sword gives you in a conflict, sword will give you +1 die to any of the 4 actions.
it's the most
But
flexible, I think.
for the conflict, it sticks to whatever action you do. So you start a conflict and you choose attack. Like the
Mm,
whole conflict, you're attacking with that sword.
got it.
If you do it to maneuver, you're like fucking around with the sword, like for the
Right,
conflict,
right.
etc.
Whereas an axe has a bonus to one particular thing, and that
Yeah,
can't be changed, but it's a slightly higher bonus. What's the bonus for axe? Do you know offhand?
axe.
Where are those weapon stats?
They're gonna be in.
Gear.
Yeah. So you're talking the hand axe.
Yeah, hand axe.
Hand axe. Hand axe may be used as a melee weapon. It grants no bonus and suffers no penalty. It just means that you're not this. It means that you're armed, so you're not getting a penalty. But however, a hand axe may be thrown on any action once per fight. Throwing a hand axe turns an independent test into a versus test. That's what a bow does. So like when you're attacking, if two people are
Oh,
attacking, you're just hitting each other. You're just damaging each other.
right.
But if you're throwing your hand axe, it becomes a versus test. So you
That's
can like
nice.
Yeah, so it's cool, and that's
I
what a
see.
bow does.
So the
That's
hand
one of
axe
the
has the flexibility of being turned into a missile weapon.
Yep, but
But
after you throw your axe, you count as disarmed until you equip another weapon between rounds. And you can't
oh,
pick
I
it up
see.
unless you get like a high. I think you get if you get a bunch of successes on a maneuver. Like you
So
can't pick it. You can't
if I
pick it up
declare
again.
my axe as my weapon and I throw it, even though I have a shield on my other arm, I can't declare the shield as my weapon immediately. I have to wait until the next round of conflict.
Yep. And then you
Interesting.
don't have your axe for the rest of the conflict.
Right, but then you can use the
But then
shield.
there's cool stuff like the flail. So like the fearsome
Ah.
flail grants +1 success to attack and +1 die to feint, but suffers a
Right.
-1 success penalty to defend a maneuver. So you can do cool stuff with that, you know.
Well, the flail can't. So if I want to carry a shield, I can't use a flail because it's wielded too.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I've gotten fixated on this using a shield because I wanted to have some kind of defense because I don't have any armor. I don't know if that's good play or not. Do you have a sense? Should I not be worried so much about
Well, shields are
the
awesome
shield?
because like not a lot of weapon. Well, and it gives you +2 dice to defend to the
Right. See, I think
defend action.
if I declare it as my weapon, is that right?
Yep, and that's okay. Well, because you're only using one weapon per action.
Conflict, right? Or per action. So you could be like in what first act have your shield up and then switch and then just declare switch to battle axe or switch to
For your
sword.
Oh,
next
okay.
action. Yeah.
I thought this was like volleys where you had 3 actions you had to declare, like in Burning Wheel.
No, well, there is 3 actions, but it's one character, another character, and then another character,
Got it.
and you just whip through
Got
them.
it. So I could conceivably have the hand axe, throw the hand axe one round, and then
Yep,
the
as an attack or
next time
whatever.
I get to act, suddenly I'm using my
The
shield.
shield, yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
But the thing is though, like if you did have to if you were going to try to attack or something, you're not going to have your axe if you throw it. That's the thing. That's the only
That's right.
problem with throwing the hand axe.
Right.
Got it.
But
I'm going to try
also-
the sword and shield and see how that works out.
Yeah, you are
That's a
coming
fr-
from Frida, so you know.
I have. Well, so sword and shield is not a terrible
No.
combination. It's a pretty good default combination. So
Swords are great. Yep.
yeah, I don't mean to do the same thing every round. I apologize for creating another character. This is
Oh,
a different
no.
character though. This is
Yeah, no,
this is a
absolutely.
different character.
Yeah, and swords are cool. Swords are versatile. You know, you're not just like bashing with a sword. You know,
Right.
you can
They
do
can be used in
a few
different ways.
things.
Got it.
Yep. All right. So where were we? We were still talking about weapons. I think everyone's got their weapon figured out. And Pete, if you're still taking your time on it, that's totally cool.
I have a question. I have a question for weapons. Should I kind of right now all I have is a sword on my belt, okay?
Mhm.
And I want I want either a crossbow, like kind of go off brand as an elf and have like a dwarven crossbow, or a longbow. But where do I put the bow? Like on my torso right now, I have a backpack worn. I guess I want to get a quiver. Like, should I go
Okay.
crossbow? What do you think I should do? Yeah, like.
Well, there are a couple things at play here. So as a level 1 ranger, you can
Yeah.
wield a bow, a sword, a spear, or a dagger.
Oh,
One of those 4.
Oh, wow.
So
I chose sword.
So it's got to be sword or bow.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And you can acquire those other things. But as a level 1, you know, and as a starting character, you can only start with one of those.
That's rad. Then, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna get a bow or a crossbow. So fun.
So you're gonna keep your sword. You're gonna keep your starting sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think because I'm a blacksmith, you know, I gotta have a sword, and I'm a crafting of like elven artifacts, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool.
This is like a blade that I keep trying to get the perfect curve. It's like a saber, you know, and it's my master encouraged me to build it, you know, like to forge it? Cool.
So does it always look like it's you're tinkering around with it? Like it's never like fully done?
Yeah, like my
Is there
fucking
is there
mask,
like rough edges and
Yeah,
yeah.
like I'm working on it. Oh, this gem will be perfect for the hilt.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Great, yeah. So now in terms of equipment and stuff, you can just fill your packs with just whatever kind of shit you want to put in there. Um, I'm gonna say that like I can give you a hint on what the first adventure is gonna be, and it's gonna be classic sort of dungeon delve. Nothing too specific, nothing big to look out for. You're going underground. You're gonna need rations. You're gonna need torches, or whatever light source that you choose, and then whatever kind of tools and other shit that you want. And it's all on the starting equipment choices in that chapter.
So I imagine someone's got to have a tinderbox, and maybe that's the halfling cook. I don't know. I'm happy to get the tinderbox if someone else isn't getting it.
So I'll just explain what a tinderbox does. I mean, we know what it does, but in the game it has a specific thing. So a tinderbox allows your character to light a fire without making a test under normal conditions. So under normal conditions, you can light a fire. You can light a torch, no problem. But if there's shit kind of going bad, a tinderbox allows you to do it easily and
with the
quickly
test.
under
Right.
if under a stressful situation. Otherwise you'd have to make a roll. I think it's probably like survivalist or something like that.
Right.
So a tinderbox is it's handy. Not everyone needs one. And the situation is going to have to be bad. But so tinderbox is good.
Eric, I have a
Yeah.
question. It's a little off, but
Follow-up question. If I put water in, would you?
Yeah.
Can I replace the dreamer world with? Can I call it something else? Like, if I call it Fae, like if I call it, how I interpret it as an overlay of a Fae world. Does that sound cool? Because then I want to write my belief about that. Like,
Yeah.
that
can be cool because maybe you don't actually have like the real elven understanding of what it is. You only got your own interpretation. And maybe you've tried to tell the dwarves and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Maybe you're coming up with your
or I
own
didn't get the
interpretation of it.
rights. Maybe I didn't get the rights, like the elven rights that would let you actually
Understand what's
But
going
it's
on with your
calling
weird
me.
mind.
The Fey Forest is calling me.
Nice.
Cool.
If I take a dagger, can I sort of like flavor that dagger how I want?
Yeah, little salt wise.
Okay. I was thinking like sort of like constantly improvised prison shank sort of situation.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Dagger it is.
Yeah. I mean, because in the game it's going to function how the rules allow it to function, but you can make it look like however you want.
Okay.
Yep. And what a dagger does is actually pretty cool. If in a conflict, if you do a successful maneuver when you're using a dagger, it counts as a disarm against an opponent wielding a spear, polearm, halberd, sling, bow, or crossbow. So if you get in close and you're maneuvering, you can disarm an enemy with it.
Okay, cool.
Very cool.
So
Yeah.
I'm bringing some rope. If I don't know if we need more rope. Rope's always good. You can wear rope around your torso if you're not wearing armor. So I thought my character's sort of ideal for that since she's not wearing armor. So I've got some rope. I was thinking about taking a grappling hook unless someone else is going to do that.
Where are you guys finding the inventory? I'm not seeing it.
It's on page 38 and 39, and it's under kit in the Roll20. What were you just saying, Pete?
I took a grappling hook.
Oh, okay, great. If you've got a grappling hook, that's perfect. in that case, I think I'm going to take garlic or a mirror because I am paranoid about the creatures of darkness. What do you think, Eric? Garlic or a mirror for against creatures of darkness?
Good question.
Neat.
What does Sister Cadigan believe?
I think she is more worried about having. I kind of like the idea of a mirror because I can imagine situations where we could use that in a trick conflict. So I think I'm going to go with a mirror. I think there are more clever uses for a mirror.
And you can look around corners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, they do have that. They've got garlic and a wolfsbane in here, and those
Yeah.
are very specific. Like it's interesting that they still have them if like the setting
Right.
is basically like the Mittermark kind of thing.
right.
I really love the idea of like a Castlevania style like world. But yeah, those are very specific. But garlic is can used as supplies for cooking.
Yes, it can. And I think Wolfsbane probably too.
Castlevania world is like perfect for like an elf
Torchbearer.
race, you know, a
Yeah.
fae race. Like
Yeah.
you know, like just they have it in The Witcher, like those guys, like they fucking like steal babies, but they also have their whole culture, right?
Yep.
Like I'm down with that, man. I did that for Curses Strahd in our game. My elves were like that. Um, I would love to play Elondil like that. That's what the elf relationship culture is. I'm it's in my blood. Like I'm a little darker. I got the dreamer, you know. Oh, sexy.
We
Um,
Are
can
you guys
inventory.
interested? Are you guys interested in that sort of like a gothic-y kind of vibe? Because I kind of
Yes.
had a little bit of ideas like towards like bringing in some bizarre total sci-fi, but like other like like weird elements being kind of alien in ways. And that doesn't completely jive with the Castlevania thing. Although
can in
maybe
a
we can find
way
some
if you
kind of middle ground.
yeah, it can in a steampunky way.
Because I was thinking sort of like like Zardoz style, like giant heads and shit.
That
But
sounds like fun.
I'm
Love
down
but yeah,
with
we can
that
Zardoz
kind
and
of
too.
Zardoz.
mix it. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
down
Yeah. I
with
mean,
that. I
we can
don't.
definitely keep talking about it. Yeah. But as
Let's
far
put
as like
Beethoven
the
7th on right now.
as
Oh,
far
I
as like
got
the
it.
anti-undead things like wolfsbane and garlic, like don't worry about packing those things because
Okay.
I'm not gonna you won't be weak against anything with those. Yeah. So what else are you guys thinking? What else are
One
you
quick
guys writing
question.
down?
Carried, I put 10-foot pole, but can I change it to shield?
You can't have a shield
Oh, okay.
as a starting character. It's considered it's a weapon and it's not in your weapon types.
Mm,
But what was I just gonna say? Oh, everyone write down a wine skin, wine or water skin.
Yeah.
I did already. Yeah.
Yep, and just say what's in it. So wine, well, water, like water. If you drink it, it eliminates the hungry and thirsty condition.
Yep.
Wine does the same thing, except it grants +1 die to recover from angry or afraid. So if you use it in addition to when you're trying to recover from angry or afraid, it gives you an extra die.
Oh, so wineskin's better than waterskin. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But there are plenty of reasons why people pick water. I mean, but it's usually like thematic. Usually it's like, oh, I don't like wine,
Mm.
or like I'm not allowed to drink wine, or different things like
Right.
that. But light sources too, guys. Make sure you've got torches.
I've
Torches
got
is the
4
basic.
torches.
Yep, that's the basic style. But there's also candles and a lantern. Lanterns are cool, but you have to you can't really put them in your pack. You can put them in your pack, but I'm probably gonna want to break it on you. And you
Oh
have to like
shit,
refuel
man!
it.
Imagine a lantern on a 10-foot pole.
Oh
I
man.
had that idea too. But
Well, I have
I
a
took
10-foot
candle.
pole.
See, 10-foot poles are cool, but they're fucking 10 feet long.
Mm.
I know.
Like, so everybody get a tape measure out and make sure you know how long 10 feet is.
Big.
One day I'll craft us a fucking joiner, so we can break it down into 2 5s, and then we'll make it a 10-foot.
There you go.
That's cool.
I'll-
And then we'll throw Hank's staff on the end of that. You got a 15 or
Ah,
Or like there's a crack in the wall that goes around a corner and all of a sudden your pole can't come through the crack.
oh man, I can't wait till we start getting into dungeons and fucking exploring dank halls.
You know what? Even having something that's 5 foot long, because I carried a machine gun and that thing gets caught on everything. Can you imagine trying to run through a dungeon with 2 holes on your
Yeah.
backpack? It'd be hell.
Yeah.
Right. Should I get rid of it?
No,
10 foot
no.
10 foot pole.
Have it,
No,
and then it'll be a great source of complications. Like 90% of this game is having complications, and if you can have equipment that creates complications that aren't deadly complications, it's just like an invitation for, oh, that roll went badly wrong. Here's
Describe
the thing
it.
that can go badly wrong for us right now that's not deadly.
Yeah. Cool.
Better
Yeah.
that than the lamp breaks and oil goes everywhere and you have
Oh,
fire or something.
You need
Yeah.
the pole that's like a 3-sectional staff, you know, that you can hook together with a cotter
Yeah, that's what
pin.
Sandra's saying.
I'm gonna make it.
Yeah,
When-
you know, when we have resources, then we can do things like that.
Yeah.
Now we have resources zero.
Oh, it's
So,
so funny how I get the feeling in this conversation now, how we as a group are coalescing and imagining ourselves as being useful in the adventures to come
Yeah,
in real life, you know, like in the actual gameplay, you know.
yeah.
That's interesting.
I have a strong suspicion that Sister Cadigan has been um, uh, exiled from her order, and that's why she's fallen on hard times. She still has a
Yeah.
mentor in the church that respects her, but for something went wrong, and she's been kicked out, and she's trying to
Probably the same thing happened to you that happened to me in Catholic school. I it's about religion. I didn't understand back then that the nuns were not there to debate religion with you. They were there to dispense religion.
That in a wasteland setting, you know, like in a part, what Eric is kind of envisioning, like that weird wasteland kind of setting, like the religious order of disciplinarians is pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
it's Mad Maxy a bit, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind
Yeah.
of like that, like.
Did you ever see a boy and his dog? It's a
Oh
really
yeah.
No.
really strange and surreal version of that it's pre Mad Max from the 1970s, and kind of a not a bad touch point also.
What's it called?
A Boy and His Dog.
There's a class.
I mean,
Some-
it's got
oh, sorry.
its treatment of gender politics is really problematic in a 1970s way. So, you know, go in with eyes open. But maybe worth seeing.
But
Hey,
like visually, it's
Yes.
wild.
Yeah.
Somebody made a playbook, a dungeon, an apocalypse world playbook. I think it's called like Boy and His Dog, and you have a dog that's, you know, yeah. So
Peter has
let's give.
Pete, you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Two quick things. Can the water skin have soup in it, for example?
Okay, that is a great idea. Starting, I'm gonna say no,
Okay.
Broth.
unless it has the same effect as a ration, you know.
Yeah.
But rations are more economical as pack, and that's just a rules thing.
Okay.
But if you have a bottle or one of the other containers, and since you're a cook and, like, you know, further in, you cook soup. You can put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, like I know you got a cannery expert right here. So I can tell you how to preserve soups.
So
Years.
Pete, like that's a great question, and you're definitely thinking creatively, and that's another side note about Torchbearer is that it seems very, I mean, it is crunchy, but it's like describe to live is the biggest principle.
Mhm.
Right.
If you're creative and you're explaining what your characters are doing with their equipment, with their abilities, with who they are, and you as a player also have good ideas,
Mm.
that's just as good as some of the rules. So we ride that. I give you as much detail for you to use around, in the world. It's not just, okay, you're here and the world is grim, go. It's like I, really illustrate everything that's around you to give you as
Mhm.
much to go on. Then you guys take it from there. And then we hit the rules. Like
Mm.
once you want something that the descriptions can't give you, that's
Mhm.
when we go into the stuff. So as creative as you guys want to be, you're like, I want to put soup in my wineskin. It's like, okay, let's figure that out.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the way you handled Eric. I like the way you handled the situation when Pete said he's like, no, I'm an actual slave. I have a slave. Like we were all like, what? and just waiting, and I was like, I know Eric's gonna hit the right beat, and he's like, that's fucking cool.
yeah, we can make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
second,
yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
a second thing, my sentimental thing of value, can that be a clothing item? Like that's functional, or is that like kind of gaming the
I
rules too much?
I think this is like a trinket. I
Okay.
think it's it's a keepsake of some sort, like like a ring or a pendant or like a bracelet, just something more like that.
All right,
This
cool.
is this is your orphan thing, your orphan gear.
Yeah.
Is there a place to put languages?
Those end up being wises,
Oh.
which I don't fully understand. How that you'd have to choose a different language as a wise, like in the beginning of the game.
Hmm.
I'm assuming that you all can speak like the common tongue. Um, Elves, like you Assange, your character might know Dwarvish or something because you grew up there. You might not know much Elvish, like really at all.
That's kind of
Um,
interesting.
but you can speak, and if the halflings, if there's like a little dialect, you might know that, Pete. But also you might not, because sometimes, you know, I guess it's kind of up to you to sort of determine what the halfling culture is, because we're kind of creating our own little thing here, based
Mm.
on the bones. And that's something we could talk about also, like down the
I
line.
I think your trinket should be you don't understand it yet, but it's a clue to who your actual parents are.
Mm.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have a elven signet ring.
Mm.
It's got like the element earth symbol, like a tree, like a
Mm.
circle with like tree branches.
I'm thinking something like a Hellraiser box,
Hmm.
something like that. Not that it raises the Cenobites or anything, but something visually like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. As long as it's like, as long as it fits the size requirements of whatever, that whatever it says, how it,
Mhm.
where it's supposed to
So
go in your
it's a
inventory, then
small, it's a
that's
very
great.
small Hellraiser box.
Yeah.
It's a heck razor box. Just heck.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's wrap up equipment and stuff. We can also touch it up, before we play next time.
Mhm.
But just a note, like one of the biggest things about this game is that's actually easy to overlook for both players and GMs too. Is that it's about getting loot, and like, as the GM is, my one of my jobs is actually put the loot everywhere. Like don't be stingy. The problem is you guys getting it out.
Mhm.
Fitting it in your packs, getting past whatever obstacles are to get it out. So you guys need to focus on, loot is the biggest part of the game, because if you get back to town and you don't have loot, you're fucking shit out of luck. Like
Right.
you're not going to
Right.
do that great. So make that a focus that drives all the other interesting story stuff. And it's also on me to provide you opportunities too. So I guess that's where that goes is, sacks are a good thing
Sacks.
to have too. Um,
I brought a
so
set. I brought a big sack.
okay, cool. So yeah, so how sacks work is that, like, if they're empty, they get folded up and they're put inside your backpack. And once they're taken out and filled up, then you carry them in your hands. And there's a small sack
Right.
and there's large sacks.
Right.
So I have
And tho-
two slots for a rope. Can I replace one of those for a sack?
You put you have
In
two.
my,
You have rope in your backpack.
in my backpack, I have torches, preserved rations, rope, iron spike, and hammer.
Oh shit! I took iron spike and hammer too.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
so one of you should do that, and then the other sacks. We need a
Yeah.
lot of sacks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's
Let me
let's
take
be optimists about our ability to take things out.
Is stack one slot, Chuck?
So either you take one large sack as a slot, or you take two small sacks as a slot. And
I picked 2 small sacks. We
So
can
the two
just
small-
take whatever we
Wait,
want.
let Chuck finish.
So the two small sacks, each of those sacks, when used, is going to take up one hand slot. So you're not going to be carrying something else, and it can hold two things inside the sack. So the advantage of that is you can take, when you find some stuff, you can carry it in one small sack and leave your other hand free to do something else. The large sack, once it's got stuff in it, you have to use both hands to carry it. So you're not going to be carrying anything else in your sack. But the advantage of it is it has 6 slots inside it, so you can fit a lot of shit inside it.
Holy shit. This game is so fucking minutia. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a little mini game of how do you carry all the
Oh,
crap.
so cool. Okay, I'm going large sack.
I did too.
And then the cool thing about taking out the large sack from your backpack is that then you have another slot. You have a free slot in your backpack.
Right.
And
So
no,
it's like-
but can I take large sack is 2 slots, okay. Cool.
No, a large sack
Oh,
is
it's one,
is
it's one.
is one when it's folded up.
Yeah. So I have a 6 slot left. Why do I have 2 for rope? Is rope especially large, I guess?
Yeah, rope
2,
is
yeah.
large. It's one torso slot because you wrap it around your
Okay,
body.
I'm gonna look for 1 slot thing here in gear.
And make sure everyone make sure you got rations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pete, what I'm gonna have you do is look like in between now and the next time,
Mhm.
check out the cook skill
Okay.
rules and what you do with them.
Mm-hmm.
They help you with taking rations. Like when you're in camp, you can take rations and cook them
Mhm.
into like large. You can make meals out of
Mhm.
them, out of rations. You can preserve food. You can You have the scavenger skill, so you can scavenge things.
Mhm.
When you're out in the field, and you can scavenge stuff to make into rations.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a pretty cool position because you can provide. You're basically like making a much more economical way for everyone to stay fed and stuff. I'm going to study it too because there's a couple things that are a little bit counterintuitive.
Mhm.
But yeah, so just remember like all the stuff you can do with cook because it's important.
Mhm.
Put torches on the belt.
I don't think
Nothing
so.
seems to be specific about belt. I don't see anything.
You would have to have them in like a big like bag. I guess. I mean, I guess you could. You'd have to put a pouch there and then put the torches in there because they go what 4 to a slot.
Pete,
Torches.
take 1 iron spike.
Carried one or pack one.
So you have a hammer
Mm-hmm.
and spike, and I'm gonna use your hammer to drive my spike in when it comes time to.
Okay.
You
Cool.
guys-
Cooperation.
What are
Yeah.
you guys putting on your belt?
I got my
Uh,
sword,
I have a wineskin.
water skin.
That's it. Free up space. I'll put the wineskin on my belt.
Yeah, everyone make sure you got a wine or water skin, rations,
Yep.
and light source of some
You
sort.
have to be in the
Torches.
backpack, right?
Damn.
Right now, like as starting adventurers, if you guys each have a bundle of torches, you're gonna be good.
Nice.
You'll be good.
Okay.
You'll be good for a while.
This is so fucking cool. Like the whole process is making you think like a team already. It's insane.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I named my sword. It's
You're very non-magical sword.
yeah, but I named it because I made it. It's It's Fragarash, which means the whisperer in Celtic. And it's from Celtic mythology here in this world. Whisperer,
And-
the dream whisperer.
And where did Elendil get that name? Sort of came to him.
In a dream.
Yeah,
Cool.
great. Neat. So
Right
Elendil,
on.
who already has a name that means whisperer in one language, has named their sword whisperer in a different language, which is really cool.
I forgot that little fact. Cool.
All right, so I think we can tighten up gear and stuff before we start next time. Let's move on into the last bits of the process here, which is going to be doing the beliefs, instincts, and goals, which are pretty interesting parts of it, and we haven't even gotten to yet. So, you magical guys got your magical stuff written down. We can also loop back to that and make sure it's all tight for next time. Okay, so I'm gonna read down through some stuff here. So, okay, so here we are. It's time we paused a moment and looked around the table. Introduce yourself. The game master collects the character sheets. Okay, here I am collecting them. I would be looking down through them, which I'm not going to really do right now. I'll do it later. All right, let's do this real quick. So, do we have time to do this really? Okay, so Sister Cadigan.
Yeah,
I
I got kicked out of my order.
Kicked out of the order. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's
it was
kind of
a-
like
I- it was
how
a-
I'm asking you guys how you've joined like the life they call it.
Yeah, I
they-
got kicked out of my order with some kind of doctrinal question. Probably had to do with whether you go out into the world to fight darkness or if you remain inside the bastion defending yourself from darkness. And she wants to bring the fight to the enemy. So she thinks there's important relics and objects to be found out there in the world that can be brought back and used to help protect the religious bastion. And her superiors disagreed, and now she is persona known, not exact, but she does have a popular following in the group. That's why she has a good circle. So when she goes back, there are people who like what she's doing. But
okay. Do you still wear like the
yeah,
stuff of your?
she thinks she's the church.
Okay, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. So okay. So Hank,
Yeah.
did you have a name for your character yet?
Yes, Skulky.
Okay. So you're gonna keep the. That's cool.
That's a great name.
So he's a young magician. His he has got a relationship with his family. He's got a mentor. Why have you left the safety of the wizard's tower for the dangers of the wilds?
I'm gonna say that I believe that I'm gonna learn more about magic more quickly and more in depth by going out and practicing it rather than doing all those stupid over and over drills that I have to do at the Wizards College. I'm getting bored.
Okay, cool. And how do the other initiates or teachers, how do they feel about that?
They think I'm stupid. I'm definitely taking the wrong path. This is where you learn the basic skills. You don't go out yet. You're young. Wait till
you're randomly determined magic school. It says necromancy. So if you look on this, you look on the chart, there are spells that are repeated, between the different schools of magic, but they put these together under the heading of necromancy. So you can change, you can color it however you want, but do you like the idea that you are interested in how like magic and death, like the sort of like the crossover of the worlds?
if I could
And
actually,
it kind of fits our weird dark setting too.
I had a necromancer a long time ago in another campaign. I think it's really cool having your little army around you to protect you
Look
of
behind
undead
you, man.
names and everything. And I'm gonna do the same thing.
Cool. Okay.
Great.
I'm not really sure if you can raise the dead
There's
as an
the
army, but yeah, but
but
that's cool.
but there's the skellies behind
Yeah.
it.
All right.
All right, shit. All right,
That's
Sanj, I think you've given us a lot of info
Yeah.
on your thing on your character, but you were do you know how you
yeah.
came
I
to be, you were orphaned or you were left there somehow in the dwarven halls?
I think my father owned had like I think that my father left me there for protection. I think that he felt that his race was dying or something, right? And he left me there with this guy in a mountain hall. And then I think that I left the place because I got fired.
You're an
Basically,
elf, right?
yeah,
You're an
I'm
elf.
an elf that grew up within a dwarven hall with a
What
blacksmith.
I'm gonna throw something out. They did this a lot in Japan, and they did it in the Middle Ages as well, where they would take a hostage. Maybe as an alliance, you were a hostage and you got
Like
out because you escaped, and the
like a bar-
dwarves are down.
like a bargaining, like you were like a bargaining chip.
No, I like it more like it was a friendly relationship between my father and the
Okay.
blacksmith mentor. But then I'm working, but I'm dreaming and I'm getting lost in like my coming of age as an elf, and the spirit world is calling me, the dreamer trait, whatever. And I'm just fail at my job. The fucking dwarves are like, what the fuck? This guy doesn't do anything. He's just wasting his time sleeping. So they kicked me out, but I still have like I feel really badly about it. Like, but there's like compulsion. So
Right.
that
Cool.
That
Nice.
really makes sense.
All right. So Pete, you are a slave. Is your owner human?
Huh. I hadn't considered yeah, I think human's fine. I don't think there's particular need for cultural extra flavor there.
I mean, there could be,
Mhm.
if you picture your master being another halfling, like that could be very interesting. That would tell us a lot about what
halfling
halflings out in
culture.
the world are like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
you're from the busy crossroads. So
Right.
It's a dark
were
twist.
you born into the life? Were you taken? Were you sold? Like, what's the,
I
how did,
I think he was sold by his parents to the
Ah,
slaver, to
yeah,
the
there you
merchant
go.
ooh,
slaver. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Because they
maybe
had
you
too many
want to
children.
find out who your parents are now for revenge.
Yeah, that would be cool.
They
Okay.
they had
Yeah.
too many children, and
Yeah. They couldn't
they
afford to
couldn't afford to
support
feed
them.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the sense in which you're an orphan. You're not an orphan because they died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's cool.
What kind of
Um,
jobs did you, as a slave, a halfling slave, do? And like, was the slaver like he's a human? Like, what's his? What is
I
he?
think I think that because he's a cook, that I think slowly over time became like the dad of the slave, the rest of the slave. Like, like he moved his way up the rank of the slaves, and that's why he's in this position where like he's thrown out into the world to do responsible shit and bring back resources. And so he's sort of like on good behavior as a prisoner. You know what I mean? Like,
Now it's starting to sound like you're a member of a cult. And
And do you kind of are you keeping it hidden from us that you're a slave kind of that might potentially you don't own the treasure that you keep.
no,
Presumably
no.
our treasure is up for grabs too.
Yeah, like I'm desperate, right? And actually part of my story that I have in my mind is that I'm like in a Suicide Squad type of situation, you know,
Mhm.
where like for example, they have someone I care about who's under threat, so like I have to do what I'm ordered to do, because like they're not just gonna hurt me, they're gonna hurt someone I love.
This is fucked up, man.
Yeah, no, this is good. This
That's
is really good.
cool. Nice.
All right, so I think we got a lot of meat to work on, and these are all like really great starting places. So I think what I want to do is let's get right into our beliefs,
Right.
instincts, in goals.
Mhm.
So following through this section here, it wants me to tell you like the gist of what the upcoming adventure is going to be. I'm not going to do that. I'll do that, maybe between now and next session, so we can kind of talk about it. But what I
So
want to
we-
do is just jump right into our the beliefs and stuff. What's
yeah,
that, Chuck?
I think I was just going to say I don't think we can do goal until we know what the gist of the adventure is, but we can certainly do the other stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Goal changes is session to session.
Right.
So and the party leader, we determine that when we start the adventure. Here's one quick question. Do I know you? Do other members of the group know each other, or are they all strangers gathered for the score? We can determine that between now and then.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So belief, creed, goal, and instinct. Creed doesn't happen until your third level, so we're not going to even think about that.
Cool.
But belief is your personal philosophy, your motto, like your way of life. If you're ever confused about what your character is going to do, as a player, look at your belief and just go from there. It's a pretty clear statement. So you want to make it as personal as possible, like I am this, or like I will this, or different things like that.
I said something that sounded to me like a belief earlier, but I don't know if it's a very good belief for this game. It was something about I am the church. I bring the church with me. I make the will of the gods manifest in the realms of mortals. But I don't know if that's too vague as a belief in this game.
No, it's not. I am the church.
All
Like
right, I am the church.
that's sick. Like that's there's a lot to that.
Mhm.
The thing with beliefs, just like in Burning Wheel, though, you're rewarded for embodying them.
Right.
Right. So if you are embodying that, if you are, living your life and presenting yourself that way, then you're rewarded for it. If we find out that it's not clicking, we'll adjust
Change it out. Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
And I'll come up with a better name for the church. But for the moment, I am the church. Good.
Cool. Yeah. Because it's like this is something that you believe about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remember, beliefs they can be pretty friggin' diluted.
Yes, I think that's what's great about this one. Diluted
Yep.
beliefs are the funnest ones to play.
Yeah, so that's really good. So let's see if I can read some of these things out loud. Okay, yeah. So and also, if your belief creates a crisis of conscience during play and you betray your own belief, you earn a different kind of reward. So you would earn a persona point if you go against if you actively go against your belief.
Got it.
Which is different than not following your belief. You have to completely flip it.
I have a thought, Eric, for my belief. I like the way Chuck worded his, so I was thinking I am firstborn. I will find my people, something like that.
That's a overall goal.
Okay.
That's more of a goal.
Very burning wheel.
I am
a belief is something that you believe about yourself, or that you believe about the world and like your place in it.
So I'm firstborn, like I'm an elf, like I'm bigger, stronger, taller than like I'm firstborn, I'm immortal, right? And I want to like be more a part of it. You know what I mean? Like kind of
Are you the only wise one in our group because you're firstborn?
wise. What do you mean by wise?
Oh,
Do you
Sanj,
know better than the rest of us? I'm just trying to sort of flesh out. Yeah.
Yeah, Sanj, earlier you said I'm the logical one.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like say something like that. I am the wisest, or like not just because when if you say I am firstborn, it's like yeah, no
Whatever.
shit, like you're an elf, like we get that.
Okay.
So, but like how does like you got to
Well, I
bring
was,
yourself into it. You got to like
but I mean,
embody
I
it
was
in your
kind of
flesh,
ripping off of I Am the Church. You know what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm not saying, I carry, I,
What's the deal with all the rest of the elves? Are elves commonplace in this world, or are they rare? Are you the only elf?
I don't know, like that, we haven't talked about that yet. It's up
Yeah.
I
to,
think in general, like there's the dwarves that are like holed up in their mountains, and then there's the elves that are kind of like hidden amongst the forests or wherever wherever they
But
are.
most of the elves are asleep. I think that's something you said, that you're
that's
one of
kind
the
of what I
few.
grabbed
Right.
there.
You're
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah. And
few. You're the only. So are you? If you're the only awake elf, that's a status about
Yeah,
your belief.
that's kind of what I'm getting at, but
Yeah.
in the opposite sense of like wanting to reunite with that place. You know, like as a firstborn, now I want to reunite with them. Like I want to be among my people.
I see. You've lost your people.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um,
Mm, 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 mm.
yeah, let's stew on that for a
Yeah, let's
second.
go on that. Yeah.
Um, Pete, what do you guys any thoughts on your
your name.
beliefs?
I've got
I know.
mine. It's going to be that powerful magics are out there. I will find them and learn their secrets.
That's a burning wheel belief.
Yeah. Make it one sentence. Figure out how to make that one sentence and give it as sharp teeth as possible.
It's less a belief about what you will do and more a belief about who you are right now.
I will find powerful magics.
But that's a belief about what you will do. I mean, I am magic. That's about a belief
Powerful
about who you are.
magics are out there and they're
Are my
mine for the
birthright.
taking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Powerful
love it.
magics are my birthright. Yeah. Yeah, or however you want it. Yeah, that's good, Chuck. Yeah. That's what these things are. It's like that's a goal. You're stating that your intention and your goal is to learn these magics, but it's got to be more than that. It's like you're consumed with it. It's who you are is going and taking it because they're yours.
Yeah, love it.
I
And
could
Chuck
even
says,
say,
like I am the church. It's just like I embody the authority of these gods in the church,
Exactly.
which is fucking
Yeah, that goes.
crazy.
how about
Yeah.
I am the wisdom of the ancients.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
That's really great.
because I mean, that's similar to how the traits work. Like they're positive and also negative.
Yeah.
Short-sighted and
Yeah.
egomaniacal.
Yeah.
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 That
Absolutely.
word wisdom of the ancients is from Codex Wolf Life Paths.
Oh,
Oh,
So
cool.
I love the sound of it.
it's so
It
Yeah.
great.
always evokes a
Yes, it
fey
does.
word to me.
And
Um,
and Pete.
Actually, a little bit relevant to this is that in one of my previous games, a guy was playing a halfling, and his belief was, "I am the greatest treasure hunter ever." So, and all he had to do was just like be trying to prove it all the time, or like
Yeah.
just recklessly going after shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Pete,
yeah,
what are you thinking?
yeah, Pete, what do you think?
So I'm used to burning wheel beliefs, so I kind of wrote it as a goal, but now I've switched it up.
Yeah, because
Uh,
goal is definitely separate, and the goals are minute to minute. Yeah, go ahead.
so it still feels like an actionable thing. So right now I'm the only one who can free my fellow thralls and later myself.
Oh no, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I will be free.
Mm.
No,
But
No,
I'm the
because
no,
only
like,
no, no.
one.
That's good because he's embodying it. He says, "I am." That's
Yeah.
that's
I'm
the
the only
intro.
one.
mm,
Oh,
because I have sort of like slightly more privilege than all the other thralls there as being sent out into the world. So to me, I've taken it upon myself as like it's my responsibility to try to save everybody in my situation.
Cool.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that's great. Read it again.
I am the only one who can free my fellow thralls and later myself.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Okay.
nice.
I love that. I also like the word that you use the word thralls, because
Yeah.
that goes with Scandinavian kind of culture,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't as much, it wasn't like racially motivated
Right.
slavery. It was like more, it was before that,
Functional.
you know?
Mm. Yeah, I got it from Conan.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
nice.
nice. Yeah,
Good touchstone.
Mm.
awesome. That's. I think we got some good stuff to work with.
Cool.
Now the next thing is instinct. So in Burning Wheel, instincts are supposed to get you in trouble. In Torchbearer, instincts are there to help you. It's a way to
Right.
cheat the rules, and you get rewarded for when they trigger and they're helpful. So I think pretty much you guys probably know already that every 4 rolls of the dice, every 4 tests
Right.
is um the grind happens. So
Right.
like every time you make a test, it's a turn, and you're burning through torches, you need to eat, you're getting conditions, all this kind of stuff. So you're trying to be as economical with those as possible while still developing your skills and taking chances and
And
trying to get what
that's
you want.
4 per group, right? Not 4 individually. It's 4
That's
per.
right.
Right.
Per
4
group.
per group.
That's
Yep.
right.
So so magic can sometimes take two turns and just, it just burns up time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the
So
instincts are really
instincts.
helpful in short circuiting that, and they can
Yep.
also fire off during camp. Normally in camp, you can only do things if you've got checks, but
Yeah.
if you've got an instinct for cooking, you can make the cooking happen on instinct, which is really powerful.
Yeah, it's great. So an instinct, if it happens, it allows you to get make a die roll, whatever it's going to need to be, and it doesn't cost a turn.
Did
So
anybody take survivalist, by the way?
I
Yes,
have it too.
I have
Good.
2.
I'm glad someone has it. We're gonna want that.
so for example, like there's examples of the instincts. But so these are you want to write them as conditional things like trigger. There's needs to be like a something that triggers it and then the effect. So you can say I always do
Textbook
this,
stuff.
or like
Right.
when this happens, I do so and so.
And for example, Hank might take always update the map in camp. And that way you
Yep.
get a cartographer test
Oh,
to
that's a great
update the
one.
map
Yeah.
when we're in camp.
Eric,
There's
is there a way to write an instinct that would tap into scout and perception checking for threats and dangers?
yeah.
How would
Depends on what you're trying to find. Are
I
you
I
on
was
danger alert?
yeah, kind of just like, yeah, does it have to be like against a foe, or can it be a trap? Or
Well, how do you picture it?
I picture it like using my eyes, just pausing, using my hearing, my awareness wherever I am. Like if I'm outdoors, I'm using all my awareness. If I'm indoors, I'm using all my awareness to kind of like use my firstborn and tap into the things that I sense better in the environment around me,
Hmm.
to sense for danger because I'm fearful.
Um, in a new place, I always
Mm,
listen for danger, or
yeah.
and we can figure out how to focus it. Um,
But
yeah, and,
always, about always sense for dangers in new places. So
Yeah.
I like the way it sounded new places. Like I think it's more evocative to say always stands for dangers in the dark.
Yeah.
So I was thinking for an instinct, and then I got to drop out here in a minute because we're almost at noon. But I've got laborer, which is used as a helping mechanism for a lot of things. And I've also got I don't have scholar, but I do have laborer. So I'm wondering whether I could take always pitch in to help during camp, and that way I can help if someone else has an instinct that fires off during camp, like cooking or something like that. I can help with the cooking.
I think when someone triggers an instinct, I think I think you can help anyway.
I thought you
I'm
could
pretty
only
sure.
help if you had an instinct for helping, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Oh,
What
I
if-
think you're right. Yeah.
Instinct, you invoke the name of your deity in battle.
But I'm probably just going to do that
Anyway,
in
yeah.
play. I don't know that that's
Yeah.
going to save me an action.
Yeah.
There's camping. Camping is tricky. That's why I'm sort of trying to think of things that I can do to help with during camp. Well, let me look at. But anyway, we should get off soon. Maybe we can
Yeah, I
do
gotta
our
get
end of session
going.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
This is
we can
super
look at
fun,
more of the stuff
Rick.
later. Yeah.
You-
Yeah, I think this is gonna be cool. I think you
you
guys got
did a
like a
really
really
good job.
gnarly group. Oh, thanks.
Pete, do you have
Yeah, I try to make
an
it as
instinct
understandable as possible.
Are you taking an instinct for cooking during camp or something else?
Instincts are supposed to be helpful to the situation, right? Not
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
harmful. Okay.
And if you
Because I had hoarding as a nature, I was thinking, and because this person's like sort of desperate, I was thinking of like always try to stash a new resource like before everyone else in a sort of selfish self-preservation sort of way. But if that's not really helping us survive, it's sort of selfish.
If you're a hoarder, it could be, when we come to a new, when I come to a new place or whatever, you've got scavenger. So like
Yeah.
you're always trying to like, fill up your stores, and like
Mhm.
you're always trying to like,
That's a halfling thing, man.
get resources. So like, I can sort of picture him coming into like a situation and just, just
Yeah, yeah.
obsessively like looking around and trying to find shit and like just putting stuff in his
Pocketing a
pack.
knife,
Okay.
little bobble here. It wouldn't.
And then on the
mind.
other hand, if you take cook, I can help you with your cooking during our camp phase.
So how about if I specify it to like food and survival things rather than valuables? Like I'm always looking, is there edible mushrooms?
I'm always looking for,
is there a source of oil, or is there, that kind of thing?
Mhm.
Always be on the lookout for edibles.
Mm-hmm.
There's also
Mushrooms and tubers.
before going into camp, there's a survivalist roll can be made to build up camp amenities to make
That's
your
right.
camp events roll easier.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So we can make that instinct not just for finding useful or edible things, but it can also maybe roll into making camp easier.
Gotta get going.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we can talk about these more as we get closer to next time. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
This has been a lot of fun, guys.
Later.
Yeah, I think we're off to a cool start.
Like
I agree.
2 weeks.
All right.
2
Yeah,
weeks.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks, and I'll
Great.
I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And meanwhile I'll try to get this recording over to Pete or to Hank. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Later.
Bye.